7 o'clock. It being 7 o'clock, we'll call the September 3rd Charlton Planning Board meeting to order. First item on the agenda for today is reorganization of the board. So, time to elect new chairperson, new vice chair. It's been fun, but it's time to pass it on.
Yeah, as a result of John Smith stepping down, that would have
Yep. Yep, well, anybody interested in?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Oh, that's a yes.
Be happy to. So I'd like to nominate.
I mean,
Nominate.
that's just one, maybe there's more. Anyone else?
Well, you've done it before too, but you're interested.
Yeah.
So I'd like to nominate Bill Fontaine as the chair.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Can I nominate as a chair? Maybe I can't. We're good there? And vice chair?
Unless anybody else wants it.
Nominate Patsy for vice chairman.
We have a nomination.
I second it.
A nomination, a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Don.
Congrats.
Nice work.
Yep.
I always question if you can vote for yourself too, right?
think
Isn't that
so.
weird to like vote for
Yeah.
yourself?
So I mean, I like the idea of doing this every year, just to switch
Yeah.
it up and,
Yeah.
and kind of keep it moving
Yeah,
around.
yeah, what
So-
is the term here? We didn't discuss.
So I think, yeah, as of, I don't know, we can do it starting next meeting?
Yeah, yeah,
Or-
yeah, that's fine, and I'm
okay.
for a 1 year.
Yes, for a
term.
1 year.
That way you
I
can
think
practice in the
that's-
mirror.
Yeah,
I'll do
yeah.
the next 2 weeks.
Right, right.
It's like.
Really get this
Dawn.
down.
Yes.
We have
Bob,
a
we-
secretary too.
Oh, do we need a nomination for a secretary? Who was the secretary before?
It was always Jean.
It was always Jean.
Yeah.
So we haven't had one for a while. Anybody?
We haven't had one. So what does the secretary here do?
Just a fun
Not a
title.
whole lot.
Not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot.
That's 2 people
We
on
just
here.
always have one.
Because we have, Jane
Yes.
and,
You guys take care of it.
coordinate. The secretary doesn't really have, normally they'd be taking notes and everything
That's what I was thinking.
for the meeting, but Jane does it here, so secretary is kind of honorary nomination.
I would take the honor, I get a title the next to your name. It's all
Yeah.
fancy.
If you two are out, I think she would run, or whoever the secretary is would run the meeting, because you need a quorum of
Uh-huh.
three, I think.
So if the
That's usually
chair,
how
the
it
vice chair is out.
That is-
Oh,
Like selectmen do
oh,
that.
that's
The
the
clerk,
point of
the
it.
clerk can
I
run
see.
a meeting, because you're an
Okay.
officer in a way.
Yeah.
That sounds like a reasonable thing.
Good, Drew, thank you. You want to,
I'm not paying attention.
Bob, any interest?
Would you like to-
Not as of yet. I've got kind of a busy
Okay.
few months coming up, so.
So I'd like to nominate Leonie as secretary.
second?
We have a nomination and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous. Congratulations.
All right. Thank you.
All right, now that that's taken care of.
Good, thank you.
So we should probably do this the first meeting of September next year too. And I'm good. So,
Yeah.
Next on the
How much-
agenda.
How much more time do you have on the board?
I think I got another year after. A year and a half or so.
Yeah.
I think it's 26. I gotta check that.
Yeah.
I'm sure 27, I think.
Yeah.
So, okay, so next on the agenda, it being 7:05, ZP Battery Development LLC modification to Griffin Road, Larry's Way Battery Energy Storage System Lot F. I think there's a Graves report in here for Westwood Road, Larry's Way. There's two here. Review one, peer review. Oh, because there's two of them, right?
Yeah.
There are,
I mean,
yeah.
the vote.
Yeah, there
now.
are two under the
Well,
one
F
review
and
letter.
G, yeah.
Okay. Just trying to get an idea of modification to approval number 2. trying to square away
Yeah, so this,
these notes.
do you want me to?
Okay, sure.
Say it too? So, Tom Corbett, 0 Point Development, ZP Battery Devco, here for Lot F. So, we have been in communication with procuring equipment through the manufacturer, which is where this change comes in. So, this is simply an equipment change of like kind. The Power Titan 1 model is no longer available to even procure. So, the Power Titan 2 is the same technology, same protections, it's packed slightly different, so it's just a slightly wider container, so there's less containers overall. So the site plan got changed a little bit, so within the fence line, just the equipment within the fence line has changed. So with that, we have the old one here. So there's 8 containers to make up the 5 megawatts. And then you have your auxiliary equipment for the inverters, transformers, meter recloser, and your control panel and power panel. So this side here is the new layout, which obviously you can see has shrunk in size. So the fence line is tightened up. And now for equipment within the fence, you see there's 2 battery containers here, then there's what they call a medium voltage substation. That medium voltage substation effectively replaces the transformer and inverter over here and puts it into one. So it's just housed on one skid and easily maintained in that sense. So the first MVS connects to the first 3 energy storage containers. And then down on the far end, there's another medium voltage substation that's connected to 2 battery containers. So total of 5 containers, down from 8 containers. A lot cleaner of a environment around working spaces and everything. All of the protections, like I said, remain the same. We understand that we'll be talking to Dennis again and going through new material as far as what the system itself is, which is the same exact system packed differently. And the way that this is packed, the container ends up being just slightly wider than the originally proposed, and I think just a few feet shorter overall. And that's because of the type of battery cells that they can actually procure now as a manufacturer. So the battery cell sizing has changed over the years, and now certain ones are harder to get. So they've been moving towards a bigger packed battery so they can fit them differently inside the containers. So we had the Graves peer review, he references modification number 2, to get back to what you were initially looking at there. That modification number 2 is just in sense of the first modification was splitting these 2 projects into individual from the one site plan to the 2 individuals. When we did that subdivision plan to lots A through I, and then we came back, earlier this year, I think even, to split this permit. But under consultation with Sungrow Manufacturing, we were advised to change equipment. It's really considered kind of a field change at this point, in this minor application, but we want everything to be tidied up and really addressed now, because I have to have further conversations with Dennis too, so.
That would be for like the safety precautions or
That's right.
rainwater runoff.
Yeah, and just so he's understanding of the changes made as well. But coming to you first is the authority here on the permit end.
All right, so there's 8 cells here, 7 in the new
5.
5.
And I knew this was
Even
5. We like our
Yeah.
diagrams for within the fence. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5 energy storage containers.
Yeah.
And then you've got the 2 medium voltage substations, which then still have, this is actually a neutral ground reactor, because they have to be grounded. So, and this is the panel, the power panel.
So you still have 2 inverters in the MVS.
MVS, this is actually a neutral ground that's labeled wrong.
Uh-huh. Cause the inverter is embedded in the.
That's
MVS,
correct.
yeah.
Yeah, the power conversion happens inside the skid.
So that the neutral ground is a pad-mounted device,
That's correct.
above ground, wiring above ground,
It's, wiring below ground.
below ground?
Yeah, all the
No.
wiring within the fence is underground.
Okay.
Comes
And
right up
no-
into the pad.
No entry into it, it's not big enough to have a door, it's not human accessible, those,
No, no,
Yeah,
no,
they're
no,
just-
no, 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 nothing's habitable.
Yeah,
By any
yeah.
means, no, absolutely not.
they're all
Just like the green boxes you see on the side of the road.
Right, right,
Same thing.
accessible from the exterior, and it's Rokita put them together, the two storage, the other
Yeah, like I said,
battery
it's the
thing.
same technology, just in a different model based upon sizes.
Yeah.
And like I said, the protections are the same, the guidance is the same, the layouts are the same.
Yeah.
This is a layout from their manual.
Yeah,
So that it's just the change in the batteries drove them to change the size of
mm,
the system itself to pack
Mhm.
more in a smaller site.
mhm. And what is the capacity of each of the new battery, contain ESS?
5, so what is that, 50,
The Titan two.
yeah, it's the, let's see if it's on this. It is not I can get you the model number. It's, capacity remains the same, is the point.
Overall capacity.
Yeah, the capacity doesn't change,
Yeah.
that's driven by the application with National Grid.
Alright.
That's not really driven by us as a factor with this stuff.
Can you get us the make and model, some identification for the Titan two and the new MVSs?
Yes. Oh, 100%, yeah, we have to give you guys
Send it all,
documentation
right,
for sure,
yeah.
yeah.
And then what about, so the MVSs are new, what are some of the, like fire hazards with those? And is there an interlock on them for heat, temperature, wind, vibration, seismic activity?
Air
radioactive
cooled, just
sensor?
like the rest of them, they're
Air
just
cooled.
on a skid to
Yeah,
make it easier to maintain the system.
Are these any oil base in them also, or?
They would be the same as the other ones that, I don't wanna say biodegradable, but for lack of a better word, it really, but yes, they're the
Something on
they're
the
the,
form of like
they're the
vegetable
safe
oil or-
oil-filled ones.
Vegetable, mineral oil
Yeah.
underneath.
Yeah, mineral oil, yeah.
how about decommissioning wise then with, decommissioning plan represent the new MVS?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I waited so long
Yeah,
to give this
uh-huh.
back to you guys.
Yeah, we saw
Well,
this coming, yeah.
we were talking about this back when we initially
Yeah.
started this, and then
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I don't wanna waste anybody's time, and then this actually
Okay,
happened, so.
yeah, good idea.
This
So it's
equipment's
still a
being ordered.
lithium iron phosphate?
That's right.
battery?
Yeah, everything remains the same as far as battery type, as far as chemistry, the protections within the system. So for example, like the water pipes. So all those things we maintain. They're not standard options on the new model, but we permitted that project with water pipes, had the understanding with the fire department. We carried that over to this system as well
So
as an
you need
option.
municipal water? You will have municipal water on site?
No. No, that's for the fire truck to hook up to, but they're never to be used through the ERP.
You hope not. It looks like those containers are very close.
10 feet. These two here are the same as these ones here.
Okay.
Six.
Yeah,
I
10
think
feet's like the
6
minimum amount
Mm.
to prevent fire from jumping to another.
Yeah,
How
which
big
is
are-
what we've permitted here. 10
How
feet.
big are the new containers?
They are 20 feet long by 8 feet wide, a little over 8 feet wide, versus 26 feet long by 5.5 feet wide. The other ones were narrower, quite a bit.
So with that new mini substation you have going there, is it gonna have more noise for the Sullivan Road neighbors?
Not at all, not more than what goes on over there today. But
Right.
yes, I understand, but no. A
But
noise
still,
work.
because we'll have these in other parts of town, so
The,
if
I can
noise
tell you that
increases.
when we do noise analysis, I've got 30 permits throughout the state for these. And we do noise analysis in some towns, like right now, through a planning process. And some of those are like in a more rural setting, so understandable, right? These are not even on the scale. So that it's when we're doing a noise analysis, the only real main focus in noise comes from the containers. These new systems are already from factory 15 decibels lower than these.
With the coolant and all, with the cool.
Same, yeah, liquid cooling.
With the fan, you have a liquid cooling or no HVAC?
There's liquid cooling for the batteries are liquid cooled.
But the boxes are temperature controlled.
Yeah, so where the DC conversion happens inside the container, those are typically a fan. So there's noise from the fan, which is what the noise from the system comes from.
Okay.
The fans on the battery containers will be louder than any fan on these. So those are really what drives the noise analysis.
In this case, probably couldn't hear it over the highway.
Probably not, but I used to live over there, so
Yeah, no.
I owe it to those neighbors.
Is there like fencing all around this, like, so
That's
it's
correct.
blocking some of the sound?
Yeah, security fencing remains the same through the conditions. of the
But I mean,
permit.
like, something that would block the sound or anything?
Not on here, not on the site. They do make it if it's needed, but that's, when you start doing that, you're in a peculiar situation. I'm not a sound engineer, but I've been doing a lot of sound studies for these projects, and it's, a couple of them are, topography plays into it, and in wooded areas or not wooded areas, you're always modeling it as, no leaves, you take the pure tones out, the crickets and all those things that come out, and you're looking for that lowest band at the quietest time of the night.
Yeah, I'm just asking, because you figure with the hum coming from it, it's something you probably don't get used to ever. That's the only reason why I'm asking if it's, if it's something that's real loud or not.
No, not incredibly loud at all. These systems, like I said, these ones are 15 decibels less than these, and then
And how many decibels is that?
I think this one was modeled at 91. It could be a little bit higher, it could be 96, and I'm thinking that this one is 80. I think that's what it is, 80 or 81. Which is good, and that's clean slate. Like if I was in say there was residential behind me here or something, they do have kits that you can mitigate, and it's per DEP policy as far as sound and 10 decibel change. Typically anyway, unless you guys have a sound ordinance, I don't know.
It's, yeah, I think we go by the state.
Yeah.
So
What?
I have, maybe this is just for the board. When we've approved a plan and we're changing it, was there an order of conditions that goes along with it? Because I've been looking into some things, and Kurt said if things are not on the order of conditions, he can't enforce it. So I just wondered, is there any order of conditions for any of these?
We have a standard order of conditions that we use for some of these projects, I think, and maybe it's a good time to review those.
Yeah.
To make sure that we've got things covered that we
Well,
need
'cause,
to use, but
I mean, some new.
Would change automatically?
They do. So
Just
there's some new
modification.
information that's been coming out that I'm seeing, and that's why can we add stuff if we find out that even though it's lithium iron phosphate, there is a fire hazard and a significant amount of fire water. On this site, it's wet. Here, half that lot is wet, and Katy Brook is there, and as you know, that's what our sewer treatment plant dumps into, goes into the Quinnebog. So a lot of places are requiring capturing the fire water before it hits. This is a worst case scenario, but that's what we have to plan for, right? Plan for the worst, hope for the best. Maybe we'll never need it. But in that one instance where something fails and it dumps into Katy Brook, and thus 90% of the town is on well water, I think we would do a disservice if we don't try to capture or do something with having a municipal water supply on site. It is close by. The truck, which could be a fire request or a Board of Health thing because of the ground, but our truck will be going back and forth. And if we have municipal water, I mean, we know we don't want more of these in town, right? We talk about how the town meeting vote. So if companies realize we are going to request municipal water, if we want to have one of these giant plants, bigger than 0 points, but we are going to require this. If the state's gonna mandate we accept it, then we can push back with health, safety, and welfare. So anyway, so I just wondered about how that would work.
So is there an NFPA standard for fighting these 5 megawatt?
Fighting them? No, there's 855, NFPA 855 identifies ESS.
Okay.
Nothing about.
So maybe conservation, we could work with them to
Nothing is
capture
required.
and have a system in place. Right now, we just have concrete slabs, but, you know, you're gonna have to just mist it for days or.
Is water typically put on these? Or they-
That's the recommended
It is.
extinguishing agent.
Okay, so it's still,
Copious
I
amounts.
thought at one point it was just let it burn itself out.
Well, it is.
It still
That's
is,
the approach.
this is to
That's the
cool
approach,
it.
just let it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not gonna get ahead of it, so.
The approach would be to let the system do what it's supposed to do and burn the energy out, and the surrounding exposures would be a fogging pattern of sort, to control the flames and or smoke.
And have
Um,
an evacuation
which is-
plan for the smoke.
Yeah, and which is all done through the emergency response development in conjunction with the fire department and how they wanna see things go as well, and best practices. Oh, yeah. But yes, to your point, I think there are things that you could look at with Kim at the DEP. There are recommendations that come down from the DEP, and I've worked with Kim on several other cases in other areas that are like in sensitive locations. They do have recommendations, all of which are very attainable.
And when do we assign them an actual address? Because this lot F is here on Larry's Way. Will they ever get a real address? Because say the fire department goes up there, they're gonna go, well, where's lot F? For an inspection. Obviously, they'll see the
To see
fire.
the fire exit, you can see the smoke.
At the point of, like, getting building permits and everything, each lot would be assigned a street address.
Okay,
So
that would be a lot
For
easier.
911 purposes, say, you know, lot F means nothing, so they'd be like, you know, 4 Larry's Way, 5 Larry's Way, you know, however they number it.
Yeah, 'cause F and G.
It would be done by the assessor's office.
Yeah, the lot F and G, those numbers are what the assessor has given me
Yeah,
to date.
Once they apply for a building permit, they'll assign the street
Kurt,
address
well,
to
good,
them.
okay.
And I just wanted to bring up one more thing about the permit and the conditions in itself. Just looking at all 3 of them that we're looking at tonight, they differ a little bit, just because underneath, for Larry's Way, both of them, F and G, under the special permit decision, and it goes into the procedural history, and then decision, and then it has the conditions. And it doesn't have the 2-year expiration note like the Incom one does. But I do see it later on in the site plan. I think these are 2 separate pieces here. I think there's a site plan and a special permit, whereas maybe the other one's not correct, I don't know, it's just a special permit decision. You know, and we can talk about this offline, I just wanted to bring it up as a concern.
Yeah, well, you know, if you're getting to the 2-year expiration date, you have to ask for, you know, 1-year extension. We can-
Right.
The maximum we can extend is 1 year.
Right, it was, what I was saying is that it was spelled out as a condition, as number 1 on the Incom project, but on these 2, lot F and lot G, there is no condition that states that.
An expiration date.
An expiration date, we're going through financing the project to get this in the ground, so it was just, I have a foresight into that becoming a problem if
can we update that? This is a special permit?
That's a
And the-
special permit.
And the site plan, so there has to be
It's on the or,
an expiration on that,
Yeah.
that plan. Do you know what that expiration date was on that particular plan, Randy, do you?
Yeah, it would be, 2 years from the date of approval.
But it's not spelled out.
Yeah,
It's not spelled out in the
so,
conditions, and
yeah.
maybe it doesn't have to be if there's somewhere in the regulations or bylaws
I
that
think it's
states
in
that.
the bylaws.
I don't know, yeah. Just wanted to bring it up as a
Okay.
concern,
Yeah.
while I'm here with you.
I also have another request. So the SDS sheet we need, the material safety data sheet.
The whole document.
In Southbridge, when Zero Point was putting a project in, they provided, or the property owner provided it, a property owner authorization letter for both parcels. Because again, we've never seen PCK here. We know,
He
we know
signs all the
them.
applications.
I'd like to have the property owner authorization letter, just to make it clear that we're not doing anything outside of the owner knowing what their leasee's doing. Is that-
I definitely have one already from like each step of the way, but you guys like them to sign the application, so I normally don't submit them. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
would be
sign
the
them.
disconnect there.
They
I can
sign
supply
them in
to you for
Southbridge
sure.
too.
The property
so-
owner does have to sign the application in order for the applicant to come before the board, so.
Yeah.
Is it
Okay.
notarized? I mean, we just have to, again, plan for the worst,
Hmm.
hope for the best.
Yeah.
But, so you're saying that we should have a condition that the property owner
Well, it-
authorizes, whatever
Yeah.
they're proposing to do?
Because there have been times where we've been moving property boundaries, we've discussed it numerous times. And then, at the end of it, we get the signature maybe on that form, but it's something small that it shouldn't
Part of the
be,
process. I
it shouldn't
understand.
be that difficult.
Not
to-
at all.
Just to
I
let,
have,
so
for
we
sure.
know Larry and his family know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
Probably a little late on this one, but.
I can give them to you if you'd like them.
Yeah.
I have them on file.
Mhm.
Larry's been in tune every step of the way. Don't come here without speaking to Larry.
Hmm. Good.
So you'll provide this?
For sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So what is, this is lot F, what's going on with lot G?
Do we want to move to lot, Jacob?
Or,
Well,
I don't know what
that's
one to
next,
do.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, let's,
Okay. Do we have paperwork for Lot G?
You have the plans as they are changed, and again, this, more of like a site plan change, and my understanding of that kind of change would be to supply the building department with the new material, as like, this would be done out in the field. If you didn't wanna do this today, we could do it later in the field kind of thing. So we're gonna supply you with all this document that you've already decided on the project, where it's the building department and the next steps into the electrical department, which we're gonna be making very shortly, is who's looking at that documentation and understanding that. But I'm happy to provide you the packet in which I do that as well, but I'm not sure that,
So Lot
We
G
need
is
to
the same
rehash
thing,
out a
it's the same
project.
thing that's happening?
well, yeah,
Everything
let's
was-
separate those as two different things.
Okay.
We'll wait for that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
but yeah. The ask was for the minor modification for the change of the plan, to be in alignment with financing the project.
We recommend the order of conditions be put on this approval, if the board accepts a field modification for the project, that would be one of the conditions that we're going to update the conditions or the future project, so.
I think, so, I think we should review those conditions
Yeah.
at some point and take a look at them. I just want to make sure that we've got everything covered and that nothing gets done. There is no energizing of the field until all conditions and planning board paperwork and decommissioning
Yeah.
and everything
Well-
else is
Well,
done.
this is a little different, whereas it's you need it for the building permit
Yep.
versus, right, North Sturbridge Road is for occupancy, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So that's all that's needed for the building permit for this one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
So you
That's why,
recommend to have the new conditions put on the field, approval of the field modification?
Right.
So
Contingent
draft
on,
one,
right,
and then have it available to the committee to make sure that
Yeah.
all the conditions that the board wants is with that
Yeah.
field modification approval.
Right.
And then make sure that we've got everything covered. And then if something's missing or something,
Mhm.
it can be amended at the next meeting to be approved, you know, with the change of the conditions, whatever they may be.
Right. So approval
So that way-
contingent on order of conditions updates. And, yeah, that's one thing we haven't seen is the order of conditions on these.
So where was the nearest fire hydrant?
the order of conditions from Concom?
Route 20.
Just
I believe,
the,
yeah.
the site plan order of
Captain Carlson would
conditions.
probably know.
Five on the road?
Oh, the ones that we were issued?
Yeah.
First, oh, okay.
It's,
Okay.
which is separate from the
It wasn't
Concom
up.
order.
Yeah, that's why I was
Yeah,
asking,
yeah.
yeah. I didn't know you were asking for the
Like
conservation order.
the site.
Well,
That's like.
What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but if, as long as we have it in there that it's within
A certain number of feet,
a
yeah,
certain
that's
number of
perfect.
feet, yeah, and
Co-
it's not
otherwise-
already existing, so.
Yeah, it'll make people's
Well,
wells
there
go
is
dry.
public
that-
water on Route 20, but I don't know where the nearest hydrant is.
Well, I think Dennis just said it's at the entrance to Griffin, the
Mhm.
fire entrance.
Yeah,
to
that is
Griffin.
pretty close to the field,
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah.
close to those.
Yeah,
fields.
Dennis and I have looked at these projects.
Municipal water to the approval of the Charlton Fire Department, is that what you're looking for?
Excuse me?
Municipal water access from the Charlton Fire Department?
Well, if they're happy with how close it is, then
Okay,
then
so.
that would be
So, I mean,
sufficient.
if we put it in as a condition that.
Yeah, that it's accessible.
Right.
It's accessible
they
and
can-
approval by the fire department. but
So you
can
want to
decide.
make sure that this municipal water accessibility, whatever it
Yeah.
may be, to the approval of the Charlton Fire Department.
Yeah. Again, we had a project much larger than this out on the back road, so
Mhm.
this
I
one's a
think
little
it's-
different.
I think, my 2 cents, it's a good idea to align your decisions now for later things.
Yep,
And
yep, nope.
I
It's,
think
Yeah, I think
I agree
the
that
municipal
that's,
water on
put
different road,
that
but I don't
as
know
a
how
standard
far.
condition of this project to help,
Yeah.
and add that as just a condition. of
And
this
then,
project.
if we could work with conservation on capturing any fire water so it doesn't contaminate the
Yeah.
ground or nearby
Good idea.
brooks.
Are you looking for something to capture the water if there's a fire so it doesn't run
Well,
off down
up
the
there it's a
hill?
little different. If they capture it on the land that's disturbed, it won't permeate. But if it goes over that banking into undisturbed land up until the banking of Katy Brook, then it will be absorbed into the ground. So I think it's a site-by-site
Mm.
decision.
Mhm. Well, then the calculations become kind of tricky because what's the flow rate of the water that we're putting on this thing and
And
how
that-
much capacity
yeah.
is it add up to?
Not a lot of water.
Right, so are you looking for Graves Engineering to approve that if there was a fire, the site is built to contain the water from going down the hill? I mean, if
I
you're
would be
gonna-
open to that just because of the nature of, and how close it is to Katy Brook, like, I mean, this is.
Just protecting that water.
This is the lot and that's the wetland, so it's outside of the wetlands,
Mhm.
but there's gotta be a way. More is coming out about it. This is, the
Yeah.
science changes,
Yeah.
everything changes.
And are other
so.
towns doing this already? Are they looking at-
It's being talked about, but it's difficult to find information. I did find some studies on how bad the water is United Kingdom does a better job than here.
So
But
the
it's
issue is
something to
that,
think about.
if something does happen, do we use water? Do we
Yeah,
use
we just,
a lot?
It's
Yeah.
not-
We're
it's
going
not-
to use water.
Yeah, it's not
We're
like.
not gonna just
Watch it.
sit there and watch it burn, that's a
That's
PR
much-
nightmare.
But the water.
you have to
doesn't-
keep it
But-
cool so
but
it
you-
doesn't go to the next.
The heads in those boxes, they're not, it's not a foot orifice, it's a very small orifice. You're not putting a ton of water on these things.
Well, that and if I might add some information, through emergency response development, the guidance is going to come from our fire energy storage, ESRG, Energy Safety Response Group out of Ohio, I believe. And the response that they provide to the department is a recommendation. The recommendation is to never once ever even think about hooking up to the deluge pipes, but that is always there. That became a requirement through like 855 at some point in time, where you had to have the ability to put water inside the container. A lot of that stemmed from the habitable containers and kind of trickled into the uninhabitable containers. And now, right now, it's not even a standard issue anymore as far as what the manufacturer is giving. Because again, you're not ever looking to put water inside that container because you're gonna further the problem. And you're gonna surround the outside of the containers, the neighboring containers, which have a job to do as well with their firewalls and their systems internally for the battery management and the cooling of those, and the shutdown of the other ones as well. So there's a lot of things that are involved there where you are using water, no doubt. You're gonna be trying to keep other pieces of equipment cooler, and maybe controlling if it's windy, maybe some smoke or something in the general direction, you know. So there are those pieces to it that you need water. Nobody ever wants the fire department to just stand there, and you have to protect the rest of it as well to prevent it from growing, because there is no putting it out per se.
Internally, you're just gonna let it burn out, basically.
You let the energy burn out of the module that is affected, and if the system does what it's supposed to, which all of the recent fires show effective use of this case. So that is what happens. And that knowledge base for ESRG comes from their first responders on every fire in this country for these projects, for these types of projects. Moss Landing, everywhere, just the Monterey one the other day. So they're taking real live data outside of NFPA and putting that into the emergency response of what they've learned over time. Still obviously abiding by the codes and standards. They're very heavy into consultant work for the states to write these codes, because they're in it every day, and they actually have a facility where they set fires to these things every day and collect rainwater. The Electric Power Research Institute has a model set from ESRG, from water runoff, that you could look at their data collection that will show you the contaminants that are or are not there. ESRG, when they light the fires, they collect all the water. The city mandates them obviously to collect all the water, and they have to test it before they can dispose of it in the appropriate way. Now they're testing the water and they're dumping it back into the city sewer plant. So that's how effective these systems have become, and the response has changed to adapt to how the system is controlled. So there's a lot complex conversations there, for sure, but that's what's in reality today.
So you need approval on both the field change and the decommissioning.
The 2 year? Oh, yeah, well, yeah, I'm not looking for approval on the decommissioning plan whatsoever.
Okay.
This is just conversation.
Okay.
If you guys haven't looked at it, we can look at it at another date too. It's totally up to you.
Pretty good to take a look at it all and kind of digest.
Yeah, if you haven't yet, then I would suggest we probably not soak up a bunch of you guys' time tonight on that one.
So,
Unless you all have comments, obviously, tonight.
any decommission bond we have.
Okay, okay. Yep. Okay.
Can I make a comment on decommissioning bonds? It's gonna be for everything, I believe. So, I spoke with a bank and an attorney, and the surety bonds don't cover hazardous or wetland mitigation, which may or may not be an issue with new technology, but they have a clause in, and I believe I sent it to Randy, that the bond, the surety is not responsible for any sums due related to hazardous waste cleanup, wetlands mitigation, remediation actions, or removal or responsibility for any of these pollution risks whatsoever, unless such matters are directly a result of the principal's actions. As we know, even the principal is believing the paperwork that comes from the manufacturer. So that's a huge hold harmless clause stuck in there. But they do have hazardous and environmental sureties, same 1 to 3% the cost of the insurance surety, but it does cover us for environmental. I think that's
Let's
something we should look at.
Yeah, excellent, and we're gonna rewrite the decommissioning bylaws to cover that thing. This one has already been passed and
Well, it's been
approved,
passed,
so-
but not the form. So the form can be an environmental surety, not just a plain old surety.
Yeah.
Because we're running into it with another one. We have not approved the decommissioning bond. And when, I know we have a policy, but in the past, we've had, you can do a lot through orders of condition. And Attorney Carizzi, who was your attorney, even said, you know, why the bylaw? We can cover everything on the order of conditions. So why can't we cover this before we even vote on it? Because this is health, welfare, and
Yeah,
financial.
I'm all for, everything, we're just trying to follow your bylaw, because if I was to follow your policy, that number would be $350,000 less.
That policy was rescinded.
We did rescind that policy.
Oh, okay, you
Yes,
did?
We
Okay.
did rescind it. And then if you notice our policy, because I was on that committee to write the bylaws for solar, we merely, because batteries are a solar and renewable asset, we've kind of slid them over. But we wrote that before
Yeah, that was
batteries were
years ago.
even,
Yeah,
we weren't even, it wasn't on the radar. We didn't know they were coming, and we put a cap of 5 megawatts, and we did
Tried to do
zones.
the best we could with the little information
But-
we had at that point.
But this is a renewable energy asset, so that's why we can cover most under solar. So, thank you.
Yeah, good idea.
Thank you for bringing your information from the report.
Okay, so Tom, what are you looking for tonight? Was this just information, or?
I was looking for the minor mod on the site plan change there. That's really what I was here for, just the equipment change.
It's just the equipment
Just the
changes, so
ask.
those, okay. It's only is, so I, you know, looking at, the Graves letter, the proposed, I'm trying to find. Modification approval.
Yeah. Gee, and I have no issues with so we could entertain some comments from fire. While we're all here. Do you have any comments?
So, any concerns with this?
Just to be clear, that hasn't been in front of him yet.
Oh, it hasn't,
As
okay.
far as equipment change.
Okay.
This would be
And
kind of
that's one of the
step one.
conditions.
It's, and again, this is like at as minor as it gets as a field change, because we can't get the other equipment. So we have the permanent project, and we could change the equipment within the fence line per the plan anyway, but we like to be forthcoming with information. So my process would be to come to you, make the change, go to Dennis, show him the change, understand that the system is like kind of, you know.
And we already had that in the conditions pending approval from him.
That's right.
So that's already in our conditions. Good.
Yeah, we built the fire department approvals into that.
Okay. Any comments from the board? So we can handle the decommissioning stuff when we get to that.
Yeah.
One thing too, on your decommissioning, you jump back and forth between calling them lithium ion and lithium
I've gone through
iron.
this thing so many times.
So I'm like,
It's-
yeah,
And it's
it's-
good to have other eyes and
it's,
say things like that,
probably
because
great.
honestly, it gets like, I start searching
Are
words.
you trying
Yeah.
the order of conditions be attached to the field modification?
And then the dollar amount that you have assigned for
Yeah, I think
lithium.
put the order of conditions
From
with
the-
this.
Same order of conditions.
Yeah, and just
that
contingent,
the
or if you wanna
recycler?
add anything on the order of conditions.
It's an okay number,
Anything
but
on the
as you
order of
know,
conditions, that's-
lithium
since it's a minor
iron
modification,
costs more to
yeah,
recycle because there's not as much
Yeah.
good stuff in it, so.
Not sure we can change the conditions.
The
I'm not
number
sure we
from the
can-
recycling
Yeah,
company?
right.
Yeah, they don't
What
have
you
lithium
changes,
iron, they have
It
lithium
would be
iron.
good to review those conditions with the board,
For their
just to take
cost
a look
per
at them,
pound,
make sure that they just, nothing else we need to add as part of the standard conditions that we kind of go through with all these. And just
I do
review
believe.
it.
Add that to
I
the
might be
agenda.
wrong.
Oh, I know,
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
looked at it
Did
so
I
many
highlight
You want
times.
me to write an approval,
I have
the draft?
a copy of everything.
So I'm assuming that we've got,
LFP. Conditions separate.
Oh, LFP, LMO,
just for the,
okay.
for a standard set of conditions for
All right.
these
Yeah,
type
And,
of
and they
projects.
consider it.
That is gonna
they
go
don't
with
consider
everyone,
it,
just so we can kind of
they
get a
don't
look at it,
consider
to
it
make
a
sure that we've
module,
got
they
everything
consider it
that.
a pack.
I mean, I would
But
say
that
that
was a
that
recent
there is a
change,
standard
I
condition
know you're
for
in
each of
tune
these.
with this stuff.
Okay.
So I'm
So
not
the
sure
way
if
So
that
what's
they
the
used to
difference?
identify it
before this
is
board,
that
and it's probably been a
is
while, and
for
maybe there's
for
things that
these
have come
energy
up in
storage
conversations that you wanna make sure.
and how they
gets
pack goes into like
so
a bigger
for-
module.
for,
These
next
modules,
meeting, I think
they're looking at it as like.
we could
Well,
do
we
that.
can still approve.
All right.
Yeah, I know.
So
We can
does
still
the
approve
pack
this,
still
yes,
have to
yes.
get- If they
Just-
last
and
15
maybe just
years,
call it
Yeah,
out.
so I'll make
how
a
come they
draft
don't
or
just come and
conditions.
take the whole
For
container?
standard.
Standard or
That's what it
I-
was
it's gonna be an
5 years
option.
ago.
Board
That's
can
your
5 years
review
ago,
it.
Brenda
Yeah,
Gold said
yeah.
that they
Site
show up,
for
they
this,
look
but
good
just
right
in
away.
general.
That's
Maybe
how
review
these,
other
that's how
towns just to
these
make sure that we
are.
match up
Like
with-
we,
Yeah.
and that's
what
how
other people
somebody
got.
could go
Just a
about that,
review
which
of
is
order of
probably the most
conditions then
effective way
in
of
general,
repowering.
not for this.
Yeah,
But you
it just
get,
sounds
you back
easier.
in front of you to further
Yeah.
repower these types built into the
Yeah,
conditions.
these types.
Any replacement.
That's fine.
Okay,
I
so,
mean, it is,
And
Thank
that,
you.
down
we
the
just
road, I'm sure it's just great, I know.
thinking
It just
about
makes
it,
it
I mean, this is a
feel-
field change, a
Yep.
minor, I mean, the entire, project though is the battery storage system.
which has already been approved, this is just a modification to that.
Yeah,
that-
yeah, he's just changing the whole unit and some of the
Yeah, to what's available.
connections.
Yeah. Okay, so, do we have a motion?
Make a motion that we accept the, field modification as, presented
For lot F.
for lot F.
Griffin Road, Sturbridge Road, Lowry's Way. Okay, we have a
Second.
motion, motion and a second, all those in favor?
I-
Aye. Unanimous. Okay. Okay, thank you, Tom.
Again,
What's that?
oh, there's more.
Waiting.
Oh, there's more?
Yeah.
So the other, well, so what did we decide on decom? We wanna wait?
Yeah, we're gonna wait for
Yeah.
the commission.
Okay, and I'm happy to take comments in between.
Yeah.
If you had collective ones to give to Randy and pass them
Yeah,
over.
good
along
idea.
that, Cause we're not really trying to make a public hearing of this yet. So this is really just
Okay.
kind of to collaborate with you guys and
Yeah.
get an understanding of what you want this to look like, because I've played with it a couple times now, so it's kinda like,
Yeah.
I wanna see what you
Yeah.
want.
You can save the 30, you can save the 33 pages though.
I didn't know how else to do it. I wanted to make sure you got the full list and
We
Bill,
can keep it
Bill
here.
got the full list.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there a link? I don't- you just-
Yes,
We
I
can
do
leave that
believe
Wear a
with
we have.
magnifying glass?
We can leave it in the
Do you have
office.
the file? Did I send you a file of that? I believe I did, and I can recirculate it too.
Yeah.
Or just a link to Mass.
So,
Gov.
so I can explain that real quick while we're here. So for obtaining, prevailing wage rates, you have to submit just like a request. So they have a
Oh, I see.
portal where you can kind of submit a dummy request and
Right.
get today's wage rates. That's what this is.
It's not
That's why it's
published.
example everywhere. That was issued to me on a certain date as it was identified, I think, on the top of the page maybe. So that's how that works. I know, we were
Published?
talking about this the last time we were all together on this, and, yeah, hunting that down. There was 2 months where the website wouldn't give it to you. It was real fun.
So once again, these are prevailing wage rates
At that very
for,
moment when
for
you
here.
for the worker.
That's correct.
So it doesn't
That's
have any
correct.
overhead for the company or.
That's
off
correct.
on that.
That's
So
where the contractor, yeah, yep.
Yeah, so is there contractor
Profit.
fees?
Yeah, contractor fees are there.
Line item
Okay.
that,
Okay.
admin
Okay.
fees. yeah.
Okay.
And the, what's the 20-year break even? I mean, if batteries last, average 15 years before you swap them out, some less, depending on.
Yeah, so the
What is
20, so,
20 year?
and I think in the beginning of the report, it speaks to it a little bit, where the 20-year average is speaking to the 20 years of the lease. So if our lease is up, and we, you know what I mean, that's what we're kind of looking at here, as far as,
So it's,
so the 20-year average is a 20-year break-even rate, saying that today's dollar value is 2.x more.
That's
in-
the
in
inflation
20
adder.
years.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the inflation
Over
piece built
20
into the
years,
bylaw.
because that's
Yes.
the lease, not
Like
the
CPI,
lifetime of the
but-
battery. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lease, the first initial term is 20 years.
Okay, thank you.
So we like to align it with that, so, but again, open to,
CPI is usually used more commonly than break-even CPI rate.
Consumer price index, yeah.
CPI-U, in fact, is usually used.
for an inflation rate on a 20-year timeline.
Well, especially for these, it's in the Miller Act or something like that, the whole inflation adder, usually CPI. But the break-even's pretty close, it's
Yeah.
0.7 or 0.4 or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Where did you get break-even? Why break-even?
What's that?
Why did you choose to use break-even?
So how we always use, this
Is it?
is what we use.
That's
Yeah,
what
because
you
it
use.
aligns, I mean, we use it in our real estate side of the company.
Yeah.
All day long.
Yeah, just from St. Louis, just to get that data, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, the break-even points, yeah.
By the way, what's the lead time on the containers and the MDS?
We have commitments from Sungrow that we can have this stuff by January.
Yeah?
We have been heavily conversating with Sungrow and obtaining equipment because these projects have to be connected by January 1st, 2027.
Mhm. Connected means live?
Live.
Connected.
Yep. Yeah, so these two Griffin Roads
Yeah.
and Incom are,
Where does the 2027 date come from? Is that the application with the
that
grant?
comes from the incentive in which they're relying on from the state,
I see.
which is
From the state.
so
yeah.
much fun.
Yeah, there's a whole other application for you,
Yeah, we have like a reservation on the SMPs
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
yeah. Uh-huh. Thank you. Good.
Yeah, so we can talk more
Yeah.
decommissioning plan and hopefully get some comments in between, that'd be nice to.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I have two
Yes.
more of these mods. I've got two more of these modifications.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah, so lot F, same thing. Show you here. So we are looking to change for the modification to the Power Titan 2 from the Power Titan 1. Same exact system layout as the previous. It's a flip, it's a mirror image, is all it is. So again, 8 containers, 8 battery energy storage containers here in a row, and then we've got the 5 energy storage containers with the 2 MVSs in a row. And then your neutral ground reactors, as well as the meter recloser that goes out to the street. So this change here is very minor, and it just changes the equipment layout within the fence. It actually reduces the impact and the footprint of the site.
So this is
overall.
G here, and that was F up here?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, it goes around like this. So it's like A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I.
Where's the pile that's there right now?
Right there.
Oh, it is?
No, the pile's right here.
Okay.
So that you can see it in the lines actually in the existing survey. So that, and it's greater now. I mean, the asphalt is right here. So that, you know, that little asphalt in the shed, the shed's right there. So there's actually more than what this is. This was just 3 years ago. Okay. The topos. Been told the plan is to get back on.
So the fence comes in a little bit?
Yeah, the fence line tightens up quite a bit. We maintain the same respective setbacks to the fence line for all the equipment, just like we have on this side. So some of these, this layout might provide for a little bit more distance to some equipment, and that's based upon a drivability factor, where this one we're not driving in here. Well, you drive in this way. This one is actually set up well enough where you can drive in and onto this side where
It drops off here, right? See some,
Yeah, yeah,
all these
exactly.
lines, it drops off quite a bit.
It does.
So, but he'll be able to fight any, it won't go into any brush if there is a fire?
That's right. Yeah, we maintain a minimum of 10 around the fence line, and that's, I think that's actually an FPA code as well. But that's standard practice for solar and batteries.
Yeah, our solar requires them
Yeah.
to drive all the way around to contain things.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah. Which I'm like doable.
Okay, so it's pretty much the same as the other one, same as F?
That's right.
No other changes?
No other changes, just the field change to the newer equipment. Just wanna keep you guys privy to that and get that approved with you. And
Make motion to accept the field modifications for lot F, or lot G on Larry's Way. As submitted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 You can put it up.
Yeah.
It's unanimous.
last and final. So this is 288 Sturbridge Road.
Yep.
In, the lot next to Incom. So this layout reflects our new system. So this one is set up a little bit differently than what we were just looking at, obviously. There's different ways to set the system up per the manufacturer, and they have the guidelines that for your safe distances from that. So we maintain those distances in between the MBS and the battery energy storage containers, and as well as for the recloser and meter. So these are all looked at in an electrical permit as well, so we're not gonna make a plan that doesn't pass the sniff test there. So this is all code essentially. And then, so within the fence here, we've got all the same equipment, 5 energy storage containers, 2 MVSs, a recloser, a meter, and a couple neutral ground reactors that then follow back to the control panel. Outside of the fence line is the interconnection to National Grid. And site actually shrunk in a little bit.
Same reclosers, that's not a change?
Yeah, those don't really change, that's just kind of like a standard piece of equipment. The ones that come from Sungrow themselves are the MVS, which is the medium voltage skid, and then the batteries. So, and then on this plan, the inverter comes from Sungrow, and the transformer is somebody else that we source. So keeping power conversion within the same company really enhances the project overall, and knowing that they put safety features into the protections for those pieces of equipment being next to each other is reassuring. So this is the old system showing the 8 containers and the 2 inverters and the 2 transformers separated with the neutral grounds. This old layout here had the interconnection going out to the street in between property lines. Discussing with National Grid, they want the interconnection off of Sherwood Lane, like this, simpler. Connects to the pole here on Sherwood Lane with pad-mounted equipment, cleaner. You're not looking at anything from the street and sight line.
There's a building here, right?
There is a
Is
building.
that-
Yep. Yep.
So is this buy low, sell high, it's a freestanding BESS, not, or does it come off their solar field at income?
It doesn't. No, it doesn't come off the field. No, this is a
Didn't you get
stand-
an adder if
this
you
is-
did?
The problem with, it's a great idea in theory to go back and put batteries on solar fields, but you guys know as well as I that site plans are maximized at the time, you
Yeah.
know, which is a detriment. And then they introduce the batteries plus solar, and then they do have incentive to go back and add batteries where you can, makes sense, for sure. Sites are typically pretty well stretched through solar days.
And
So-
those would be lithium ion as opposed to lithium iron.
They're all
phosphate.
lithium ion. So all lithium ion batteries could be used for a system like this, technically. There are different chemistries of lithium ion. So like the nickel, manganese, cobalt,
Mhm.
which is what you would have seen probably 8 years ago, whatever it's been. Those are typically air-cooled systems, which are less stable, in all honesty, and we've had them installed in Massachusetts since 2016, no fires. And we've got We've got,
That's what, this is
we-
lithium iron. It's still lithium iron.
Iron,
Yeah,
lithium
okay.
iron, yep. So it's lithium iron phosphate is the chemistry of the lithium ion battery itself. It's really fun. The debrief.
Still 5 megawatts, still 5 meg.
It's still the same 4948, 5 megawatts, just under 5 megawatts. Yep. Same thing, protections remain the same. We obviously have this note here, and that's per the condition of the final location of the pipes and stuff is all, conversation with the fire department.
Okay.
And I believe there's a, yeah, the condition of approval is, approval from the fire department
Yep.
as well, so. Yeah. That's all.
Good. Any other questions?
Make a motion to approve the site plan modification for ZP, Zero Point Development at 288 South Ridge Road.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, all those in favor? Aye. Unanimous, thank you.
Thank you all for your time.
And we'll do the decommissioning bonds at some future point, and I assume we're gonna get a submittal for this one too, once we've kind of looked at this one. and-
Yeah, so that was the intent was to really do the exercise of figuring out what you want for a decommissioning bond before I revise 3 of them all the time.
Okay,
Like we've been, you know.
Understood.
I learned from the past.
understood, okay.
Thank you. And I'm gonna look to see if I have that every data set, and I'll send it to you. It was pretty, it was a good set.
Sure,
I like
find
stuff
it
like
online,
that.
too.
Yeah, I have a bunch of stuff, but if you're looking for anything, happy to share.
Thank you.
They're coming up.
Pretty soon.
We've got, Ponican Hill, yeah, actually, very, very soon, right now. So we've got 2 other things that are passing on, so, that could, you can give a call?
Yeah, I got one call real quick. With the driveways for fire department concerned,
Still?
we're
You seen the
open,
new
well,
one?
22 is good, but parking on one side of the road is gonna now would be open to a one-way
Okay,
direction of travel.
you don't have a problem with that?
No,
Okay.
22 feet.
They've widened the driveways,
Mhm.
but I think the road is still at
Thank you.
22 feet.
Yeah, as long as we don't start to tighten that down, and either parking is restricted onto one side or one direction. Or you can put a comment in there, you know, per agreement with the fire department,
Okay,
certain things, but I got
okay, all right, good.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Thanks. Okay, so next on the agenda is Ponican Hill. It's been requested to pass on that one tonight.
Yeah.
Is that, we're not gonna open that public hearing yet?
Yeah, my candidate has not received a
Stormwater
stormwater
report,
report
okay.
from the applicant, so,
So wait till we get it, wait till he gets everything before he reviews anything?
right.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so the public hearing is already open, right? We've
I
opened that
believe it
public
is.
hearing. We have not opened the public hearing on?
Oh,
public
no,
hearing?
we have not.
So we still need to, do we need to continue it, or do they need to resubmit?
No, if we continue it, the public hearing will begin, September
Okay,
17th.
okay, so we'll continue this public hearing, and need a motion to continue this public hearing to September 17th.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion to second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous, so done. Public hearing continued. Salo modification to doggy daycare, North Sturbridge Road. Do we know when so, we've got no information coming back from the building permit.
Yeah,
or what needs to be
the
done.
application date, we're approaching our deadline for approval.
So when was this hearing opened? Do we know?
We don't know that.
What- So if you continue this to 9/17, is that still within the time? And then we can give them one final chance to come in here in front of us before we vote, one way or the other?
Do you have that folder, Randy?
No, I didn't.
I don't wanna run out of time and have a default.
It's a small folder,
But if we
so.
can wait one more meeting and give them the opportunity
Yeah,
to come in and.
Yeah, keeping track of the dates is important. Post the law.
And when I don't think we opened it that long ago. I wanna
It's
say
been
it
a
was in
while.
June,
Yeah.
has it been more than our 90 days? I think it's probably been somewhere between around 70. I thought we opened it in June.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe we did.
Okay,
That's right.
June, July, August.
Was the first meeting after the election, the
Was it?
beginning of it?
Was that when we?
I'm pretty sure
Okay.
it was on my first agenda,
Okay,
so that would have been.
so if that's the case, we're really pushing up on the 90 days.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
That's why I think the board should
Okay.
take action tonight, and
Okay.
if you deny it without
Yeah,
prejudice, they can come
right.
back with the same application.
Right, just hit the reset button.
Do we have to
on
do
this
a new
one, we went
fee?
down.
Are you thinking?
Yep.
Do we
What's
have to-
that?
Do you have to submit another fee, or?
They'll have to submit
We-
another.
I mean, yeah, that- they would have
Notification
to
to all the
submit a
neighbors
new
and everything else.
Application fee, you know, they can request the board to,
Yeah.
not require the fee, but it's completely
But
up
we're
to
doing
the
them a
board.
favor, because otherwise they have to wait to resubmit, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right, yeah, otherwise they gotta wait 2 years to
Yeah,
resubmit
so we're doing them a
the same
favor by-
application.
Yeah.
Right, by making it, without prejudice.
Good point.
Okay. Anybody want to make any motions or?
What is the terminology that we,
We deny the, application without prejudice.
I make a motion that we deny the Sulu modification to the doggy daycare at 10 North Sturbridge Road, without prejudice?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That's unanimous. It's denied. They can bring it back. Be a good idea to understand what's taking so long for that. And if they're operating as a overnight doggy daycare now.
Do something.
Mm. Mhm.
That's,
So,
Is that dog officer or?
Yeah, Emily, the, animal control officer could verify whether they are or not. I suspect they are, but
okay. It'd be good to go through the approvals first. It doesn't, I don't know what's holding up the building permit or what the requirements were, was it?
yeah, I mean, relatively speaking, it's minor, but I don't know why it's taking so long.
Okay, being up to 7:35, public hearing continued for GM Properties LLC Villages multifamily units, 35 North Main Street. This is the second submittal. So we've got Gray's review, came in on 9/2, and comments from Kurt. Now, is the Gray's review from the new submittal?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Randy, here's the paper copies of the traffic memorandum that I sent you.
Oh, the board has those.
Oh, I didn't know if you
Well,
printed it.
well, actually, I don't know if they. do
Nope,
that.
nope, we do not.
haven't seen it.
Nope, we do not, have not seen that.
McAndrews did not receive a copy of this, so I forwarded one to him, so he has not had an opportunity to
Did you review that?
comment.
Okay, so you want to give us an idea of what's changed and from our
So Joe Duquette, I'm from the law firm of Bowditch and Dewey, here on behalf of GM Properties, here with the engineer James, who was at the last meeting. So just at the outset, there are some additional submittals, like the traffic report, the landscape, and the lighting that all need to be submitted for Mike Andretti's review. So we're primarily just want to get the board's feedback on the revisions made to date, so then hopefully we're in good position for when he hopefully has the time to review those plans that we can go at that meeting.
Okay.
So we heard your concerns at the latest meeting, and I think we've hopefully struck the appropriate balance in terms of the density for this project. We've reduced the overall development down from 40 units down to 36 units, with 26 of them located off of North Main Street and 10 off of L. Stevens Road. We made interior site modifications that James can go into more detail about, but at a high level, all the driveways are now 21 feet wide. 22. The Drive A and Olga Lane are both suitable for two-way traffic, 22 feet wide. We've increased the total parking to actually 102 spaces. We missed 2 on our count, but we're providing 102 spaces, which includes 1 parking space within each unit in the garage, 1 outside of each unit outside the garage, 7 spaces, so there's a few units that have 20 feet of width in their driveway, and you can park 2 cars there, so we counted 7 additional spaces for those. As well as, 23 overflow spaces?
Correct.
Yeah. So while Mike Andretti did not have time to review the traffic report concluded that not only is there way more than sufficient parking, over 97% of what is typically required under the ITE traffic standards. There are ample site distances that are available at all 3 proposed driveways, and the traffic is going to be very minimal to the area and not having a large impact. That being said, I'll turn it over to James for some of the more technical items, but
So-
happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, just a quick question. You said how many parking spaces?
There's 102.
How many of those are unobstructed?
What do you mean by
There are, to break it down,
Okay,
36 units, each have 1 garage space.
okay,
Each unit also has at least
okay.
1 parking space in front of it, and there are 7 that have a 20-foot width sufficient for 2 parking spaces
Okay.
in front of it.
Okay,
In addition to that, there are, if I get the number right, 8 overflow or satellite parking spaces on Olga Lane, and it was my mistake, and I left out a pair right here, 15 overflow or satellite parking spaces on Drive A. And I'll just take that as the point to segue off from Joe's introduction to, I apologize if I'm gonna be deep in the weeds at a few points, but I just want to explain everything that was changed. So we took out 1 unit over here on Olga Lane. We added more parking as part of that change. We took out 2 units on the block that's now just 3 here. We added parking on the side of that unit as part of that change. We took out another unit on where these used to be 2 separate blocks here. We took out 1 unit, we pushed those together. I actually bent this road just a little closer to the, just say slightly to the south, to pull it away from this block of units and get us greater driveway space. We also created a much better snow storage space. It's actually the good snow storage space on Drive A, with again the snow storage space that's really good on Olga Lane being off at the turnaround. So in addition to some of these other changes, I moved these units very slightly back, was able to widen the road over here, made very slight changes to the position of the road relative to the units over here and here, such that I think when I spoke to you and we were talking about widening this road to 22 feet, I said, geez, one of the drawbacks is going to be it may push the footprint of the work closer to wetlands, such that was not touched. The footprint of the edge of work or limit of work towards the wetlands, all this stretch over here was untouched, and we actually pulled it back slightly over here by making this block of 5 units into 3. And we lessened the amount of retaining wall here also. The other, I think, big change to the plans, which was requested, was we were showing the E1 force main from these units going under the new sidewalk up to hit the sanitary sewer manholes in North Main Street. And both from, I think, from the building inspector, Mr. Meskis, and from you folks, The direction was that even though it may not be extra work, they'd rather that the force main was not in the right of way. And so this has changed. Instead, it's not on the sidewalk, it's here just for this coloring. But you see, left white is untouched. And you see a little ribbon of green following here. That's following the proposed force main. And right here is about an 800 square foot temporary alteration in the wetlands. Because that's, again, the blue here is the actual limit of the right of way. L. Stevens has a very, I guess you'd say, just inconsistent or variable width. It's sort of a standard width here. The turn sort of isn't, this probably should have been done around it, and it's very, very wide as it's hitting North Main Street. Again, the force main would go through the woods, having a temporary alteration of wetlands, get up into the site and hit one of the proposed manholes that's going out to North Main Street. Trying to think of what else were the bigger changes. There are a whole slew of small changes that just follow that. For, all the grading around these buildings all had to be revised. We were also, one other thing I should point out is we were in discussions at that point still with the building commissioner as to what was the appropriate definition of the height of a building. If you had a building which had an entrance on one level but a garage at a lower level, what is the height of that building? And we got further clarification from the building commissioner, but we were, at least at some point there, we were, I think, pretty convinced we had to be at least 36 feet between buildings, and that's what these are now. So we moved 2 blocks of building together. We deleted 1 unit. We moved, I think these units may be in almost exactly the same place, but these moved to create 36 feet there. And again, you see intermittently a couple of parking spaces as satellite or overflow. Again, a couple of parking spaces as satellite or overflow. And as Joe said, there are 7 different units here where we all picked all end units for them, where we explicitly widened out the driveway because we could pretty easily make it 20 feet. This is one of them, number 5. This is 20 feet wide and it's more than 21 feet deep, so they really have pretty easily 2 cars of parking there. Again, number 6 is another one. Trying to get it quick as I go. Number 18 is another one. Again, it's all end units. Number 24, 31, and 32. I think I got those all. I may have left one out. But there were 7 of them where you essentially have, in addition to the garage, 2 parking spaces out front. And so, on the plan, if you go to one of the detail sheets where there's a parking calculation, it says 100, and that's actually wrong, because there's actually 102, which comes out to 2.8 some odd spaces per unit, which is really pretty generous, well above, I think, just about anybody's standard. And which we think should be pretty reasonable. And it's not all, there are, for these total of 10 units, 5 and 5, there are 8 overflow spaces. And 2 units that have 2 parking spaces in front. So it's not, we didn't, stick them all over here and the folks here have no extra spaces. There's 8 here, there are 15 on Drive A. So we think it's a pretty good provision of parking now. We did reduce, as Joe says, the unit count per the sentiment that you guys expressed. We made this Drive A 22 feet wide. You'll note if you look in the area over at the more northerly intersection, all the notations that were there about one-way sign, do not enter sign, et cetera, those are taken out. This is proposed to be 2-way traffic now. I guess I'll just leave it at that. I think we made a good response to the sentiment that came from both you folks and again the building commissioner about how to change things. And as Joe says, what we understand that there are still some of them sort of a few housekeeping items, but a few of them are we really wanted to get this in front of you at this meeting. Yep. And so even though the landscape architect was on vacation and couldn't do his plan. We wanted to submit the plan without that for now, with the understanding that we were gonna have to, submit that. He had to revise the plan for all these new building positions. But what we really wanted to get from the board at this meeting was just a sentiment, that this has hopefully, appropriately addressed the concern that you expressed previously, and that we would go from here to just trying to address the items cited by Michael Andrade and getting in that landscape plan and the lighting plan. I'll try and take any questions.
Sure, for Drive A, how many, how many buildings have a 20-foot wide driveway suitable for 2 cars?
Let me see. I think there are 5, because there's 7 total, and there's 2 on Old Lane, so it's number 5, number 6, number 11, number 18, and number 24.
So there are 5, so there are...
5, 6, 11, 18, and 24.
So there's still 21 units that are still 1 car in the driveway, 1 car in the garage?
Well, yes.
Okay. Parking spaces on Drive A?
There are 15, Drive A, yeah, 15 now. 2
On
here.
Drive A, yep, okay.
2 here opposite Unit 5, 2 between Units 11 and 12, 2 next to Unit 24, 2 between Units 17 and 18, a block of 4 next to Unit 26, and a block of 3 next to Unit 23.
Okay. So what was the total there? I'm sorry.
So 15 on,
Okay.
I'll call them satellite or overflow spaces on
Drive A.
Drive A.
Okay.
And what do you imagine will happen if somebody decides to have a gathering?
Well, they have their own area, and they have, if they have more than 15 cars, I guess I'd be surprised, but.
So, I mean, I still have the same concern. Counting a garage space and a spot behind it in a driveway as 2 spots, you're still gonna have a car parked, it's still 1 spot, because these tenants are gonna get out, move a car, and every time somebody wants to come in and park in the garage, and,
I mean, I did that all the time,
In Worcester?
everywhere I've lived. So
And that's fine.
Funny,
Yeah.
this
Did you?
chocolate.
even in my parents' house, I
Was
had
it
to do that in Milford.
Sure, was it a dense
I
area like this? You could probably take 1 car, leave it in the road without a problem. You can't take out a car and leave it in the road here without a problem.
I can tell you, I lived at Lordvale Acres in Grafton, where it was this exact same setup of you had a drive under garage. I was, for most of that time, was the only one living there. And again, that's gonna be the case for some of these units, is that they won't necessarily have a couple or a family living there. And it wasn't the slightest problem. And good friends, next door neighbors, Pat and Joanne next door, they easily negotiated it, didn't have any trouble with it. I mean, I understand that you say, it's not as good as a separate parking space out front. I agree, but I can tell you we're also working on 2 different other projects in other towns where it has been accepted as, okay, this is reasonable.
With additional, and there's no other additional parking?
Very similar, one in Worcester, actually for the very same applicant, which is why we had initially elevation views that referred to a different project. And also a project in Southborough. Similarly, again, with 1 space in the unit, and everyone understands the concern that you cite, but nobody else is saying you shouldn't be able to count that at all.
We already have a huge parking problem around the common.
I mean,
Anytime there's any sports or there's wars, there's parking wars down there. And I'm not just saying like Old Home Day, I'm just saying we have a softball tournament, and people are beating each other up for a parking spot. Like, I know. I get to hear that. So it's a huge, like, in downtown in general is the parking. I have a question if I can ask. So what's gonna stop somebody, see like the green space on the side of the road, what's gonna stop people from parking there, so I'm, you know, I'm go, whatever.
When
I'm
you said about somebody, let's,
Parking on the
pick a,
road.
Off
So
of
like
North
on
Main
like-
Street?
So like, no, on, like,
Drive A.
on like Drive A, somebody to just sort of like pull over and like park on the side of the road. So whatever, I'm gonna visit my parents and I'm just like gonna just pull over on the side
No
of the road.
room in the driveway, so I'm gonna park here.
I'm gonna park with, like, where it's colored green like
Sure.
that, what's
Well,
gonna.
the-
very well, the green is lawn. I
I'm
mean,
on
this
the other
is-
side of that road.
Oh, that's a slope.
This is,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
this
more
is,
to the
this
side.
slope.
There's a guardrail, there's a large
Yeah,
guardrail.
that's- it
So
would
there's
be
no,
physically
so it's
impossible.
22 wide, there's no median, there's no other space, that's 22 wide from the edge of the lawn of the home to the guardrail. So there isn't even room to park there and open a door and still be, it's
Yeah.
22 to that guardrail. There's no other space there. There's no gray area to move out of the way if you needed to.
I mean, in regard to this issue, the one other thing I'd note is that, you know, your peer reviewer had no problem with it. You know, he just asked that the applicant show that the floor plan of the unit provided an adequate garage space in the unit, that it was a real garage space, it wasn't, you know, somehow undersized or something.
How big is that? That's a good one. I didn't see the
Oh, I don't
interior
have that.
dimensions.
So the,
Which-
which
space?
It's
The
a
garage
single car
space.
garage.
Yeah,
How
Oh,
deep?
inside the unit?
Yeah, how deep is that?
Yeah, wait, so it's in the, let's see, it's in
Yeah,
the
you see,
slide decks here.
somebody with a small charge come to visit, they don't wanna park in the parking lot and walk to the house, you're gonna park right in front of the house.
Yeah, so that question hasn't been answered yet, but what happens, what do you, about people who may just decide to squeeze up and park
Well-
at their friend's house, partly blocking the driveway and partly on the street, and if you end up with a number of cars
Cause that
like
means now a fire truck absolutely cannot get through.
Well, it's 22 feet wide, not if it was two-way traffic.
Right.
There is that concern. Standard width for a road, you know, private road, is it 22 or 24?
22.
22.
The
Standard
garage
width
is
for a
9 feet
public
wide.
road is
9.
24.
It's 24.
And it varies, but it's at
42.
least, it looks like at least 16 and a half feet. And in other units, it's upwards of 24 feet.
So in some units that are 16 feet, would be difficult to park a pickup truck in there.
I don't think I don't think you're
16
reading
feet
that,
isn't-
right. It's really only one unit. Well,
Okay.
Yeah, there's just different dimensions on this
Even
one.
big
But
SUV.
Yeah.
See, yeah.
So yeah,
I
I'm
think
reading
it's-
the basement plans
21
here.
is probably,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, yeah. Trying to
Number
figure out.
2 has
Uh,
14 feet. Am I
This is
reading it
20, is that 3 foot?
Of the
six?
driveway?
Yeah.
No, it
width.
has the
Right, that's
width
the,
of-
that's the width.
Yeah, sorry, the 9-foot width is
Oh.
actually just the garage door open.
Yep.
Yes.
The
The-
garage,
right.
door.
Inside the unit, there's
Yes.
actually.
There's
from-
more
from
room.
wall- There's actually
Yeah.
16 and
So it's a
change.
single car,
I see.
9-foot garage.
Yeah.
Right.
And the depth,
Which
architects
one were you
never,
looking
never
at?
put in enough, Lauren.
Number 2, the
That's
width is
ty-
pretty small.
Yeah,
Typical.
so it's 14.
That's
Yeah,
typical.
Yeah, 14 width.
So we're not sure, maybe a 18-foot depth or something on those?
No.
Oh, well, all the
Even the garage.
exterior
It's
driveways
all
are
more
all
than
20
21
feet.
feet.
Yeah,
Garage,
21.
garage depth?
Oh, yeah, I'm trying
Yeah.
to figure the, there's not enough dimensions on the architect's plans.
Well, so on 35, it's, the whole
Well,
length is
actually,
30
that's 30,
feet,
and that's-
and that's 6 feet, so that's 24 feet
Yeah.
wide there.
Yeah, so it's really 23
Yeah.
and change feet inside, once you're inside the
Depth?
garage, it's 23 and change feet
Yeah,
by subtraction. 30 feet total minus small room on the other side, 6 foot 10. They never put-
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Small print.
Mhm.
And how tall? 9 by 9 or something?
I don't know the height, I don't know if he's.
No.
Did these changes that you made since our last meeting, did they affect the non-impervious surface?
Actually slightly decreased it because we took out 5 units, each unit having a footprint of 20 by 30, 600 feet times 5, 3,000. And you had, the additions were only, I'll get the exact number, say it was about, say it was 6 parking spaces, but a parking space is only 9 by 18 rather than 30 by 20. So we actually have a small decrease. Now you had, before I finish that, I have to say we widened this road slightly, but we shortened it. it's probably a net wash, everything considered, or a very, very, very slight increase. I just don't have the number in front of me, but there were factors going each way. Again, fewer units, there's less new roof area, but a few more parking spaces is more, and a little bit of width of driveway.
I can't tell you definitively on
No,
that.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
And they're all like a step into the unit?
Yeah.
Step up into the unit from the
Yes.
garage?
Correct. They're all in effect drive-under layout units.
And then the overflow parking, how wide are those?
Those are all at least 9 by 18 feet. And if I got a typical over in the block over here next to unit 32, 18-foot deep typical, 9-foot wide typical, and that's for all of those. So again, the ones that where I say we're counting 2 spaces in front of it, like unit 5,
Yeah.
that's actually 20 feet wide and at least 21 feet deep. So
Yeah, yeah.
those are bigger than
Right.
an average parking space.
I mean, I think the overflow parking is just gonna get taken up by the residents, and they're gonna park their car there all the time.
Yeah, I'm gonna
'Cause
have a
near
party,
their-
they're gonna have a party and they're gonna park their cars
Yeah,
all the way
it's
down
near
the
their
road.
unit, that's their other car, they're gonna just park there.
Ah.
And I mean, I would have no
One way.
problem with that if the owner wants to enforce parking and remove those cars for the life of the project. Like, that's what's gonna be a condition on this. There's no way that's acceptable.
Yeah, I mean, then there's.
Garage space isn't acceptable, you
And
need
that's
2,
with
it's
one
not gonna
way.
fit a pickup truck, everybody has a pickup truck.
In this town.
So the owner has to enforce parking violations, we'll put up a management company, and they have to tow a car out of any of those spaces, because they're overflow, they're not for residents, right?
Right.
Are those overflow, or those are residential parking in the
Guest
the open
spots,
I think they're
We
guest.
call
I think
them
they're-
overflow, but they
Yeah.
can really be, if the board can certainly condition something along the lines of like there's a guest parking spot for
Yeah.
certain blocks of units. We can talk to our client about that. I don't know about the actual like parking enforcement, that's a
Yeah.
tougher ask.
Yeah, sure is,
Um,
because otherwise.
No
we're-
parking on the road?
It's a private way, our.
Yeah, we can,
That
I
can be
mean,
enforced.
I'll defer to the engineer on
Yeah,
that,
you-
but
you-
like, we can have like no parking
put no
signs
parking
within,
on the road.
Oh, yeah.
to make that clear.
I mean, the roads are narrow enough, when if everybody starts parking on the road, it's gonna be difficult for emergency vehicles to come down there.
Yeah.
Right.
And do everything they need to do. So that's one of my concerns. Leaving it a 2-way road is probably okay, but once again, if there's parking on it, you're blocking half the road right there for emergency vehicles and access back and forth for cars. If you put a car there, it's no longer a 2-way road.
Yeah.
You got one person waiting for the other person to come through.
And to that point, I think by keeping it as a 2-way road, it might prohibit or prevent people from trying to take
So what
advantage
about
of
Olga?
that space.
I mean, Olga's got the same problem. If you've
Impossible.
got somebody that parks on the road, that's no longer a 2-way road, that's a 1-way road.
Well, I think just exactly what you said, right? We put up signs that say like no parking, and
Yeah.
it's enforced, and there's good reason behind it because emergency vehicles wouldn't be able to enter and exit.
I'm just curious, I'm just thinking of my own experience in having lived in different apartment complexes, and some of them would have different provisions or requirements where you go by a block of parking spaces and you'll see, 10 spaces and 6 will say visitor parking only, or this is visitor parking space, and no visitors are supposed to park anywhere else.
Sure, so
I
there's
think-
assigned spots for certain units.
Yeah,
So, the.
I'm just wondering if the board has any sentiment or any idea how.
I don't think you have enough parking spaces for that. I mean,
Yeah,
the few parking spaces you have are gonna be used by residents that don't wanna park in the driveway because their wife's coming home and she wants to park in the garage.
Yeah.
Or that car can't fit in the garage, so I gotta leave it out here in a separate spot so that the person that uses the garage can get in there.
How many bedrooms are in the units?
2.
Two bedrooms.
So that could be a husband and a wife and a kid with a car, and that,
It's a potential. I don't wanna go down that road.
I
still
live in,
think-
I live in a 2-bedroom condominium unit alone right now.
Is there-
It's not.
These are
And
rented
Is
the
there-
people.
condos.
So
I am
you're not,
renting.
so is there?
And the people next to me, there's one woman, and she lives there alone. It's not, you can't simply
Sure,
say
no,
that
it's
there's
true,
2-bedroom unit,
Are
and
they
there's,
all
therefore
market
there's a family
value?
there.
Will they be rented at market value, or do they have
Yes.
some low income and senior?
This is all market value.
Market rate.
So-
Say you have
Okay.
my house.
And you're not age
Yeah.
restricted.
My son has two
Not
vehicles.
age restricted,
Correct.
no.
I have one question, like,
You're gonna have
you
people
gotten,
working that are-
approval for town sewer? Did you get a signed approval for the flow to town sewer? I guess that's the number one thing, or this isn't gonna happen.
Yeah, we actually contacted both the sewer, folks at Sewer and Water, and we're actually just waiting for their, I guess you'd say, sort of final sign off, if you will, in both respects.
Hoping to get that in time for the next meeting, but that's one of the
Yeah,
deliverables.
'cause if you have to put private septic, will this continue? You'd be losing
That would be an
probably
impediment
Olga.
for sure.
Yeah, lose all of that, okay.
You still haven't come up with a road name for Drive A.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Road name for Drive A.
Oh, yeah, he's still working on that. He had been using his parents and with the other names, and now he's gotta decide who among the relatives is favored.
Yeah, I mean, you need 36 guest parking spaces. I mean, these overflow space, those are just gonna be taken up by residents. They're just gonna park their kid's third car there, the company vehicle, like Bob mentioned, and then 36 guest spaces for Thanksgiving, birthdays, and the holidays when the guests come over and there's 3 or 4 more cars, or else we don't allow them to, have any holiday gatherings.
I mean,
Yeah, what's gonna happen if our police department,
And then,
everybody gets tickets?
yeah, and you're
because-
putting the burden on us to enforce parking in your private development.
well, I don't think
How
there's.
are we gonna do that? We
So-
don't have a tow truck
Yeah.
company in a municipality like that, so.
I mean, so part of it is in the traffic study itself. I mean, this site is one of the most, parking intensive projects I've had to present. Like, there's a lot of parking on this site.
Our issue is in
But
cities.
you're missing 50% of the entire site. You're
Well,
like,
it's wetland.
yeah,
In
that's
cities-
a terrible
and
site
most
for
places
this
have
many.
have public transportation.
Municipal parking
They-
too.
Most places. Even towns, even Graft, we have nothing.
We're
So
not walkable, we're not
Yeah.
bikeable.
Everybody
we're not on-
has a
Not
car.
that many people are gonna be taking the
Everybody-
bus into
everybody
Webster.
does.
It is there, but it's
Yeah.
only every 2 hours.
That's the difference we have, I mean, you can look, there's nothing. That's an
Yeah.
issue in our town. There is just.
Yeah.
So what I'm
Have to
hearing
have cars.
is for this site, it's still too dense. And that's where all the problems are coming from. That's why the road can't be wide enough. That's why there's not enough parking. That's why there's not, it's too dense of a development for the upland land within this site.
Too many houses,
Too-
too many buildings.
You're not connecting the road, it's a dead-end road. There's
Doesn't-
not enough, you're not using the 50% of the lot because, use the,
I don't think
it's the
anybody's
wrong
against
lot.
this project
Yeah.
here. I think it's a good use of this land.
Yeah.
There's enough problems that you can see just by looking at it because it's too dense.
From the, I hope you understand, from the applicant's perspective, the density allowed in the village zoning district
Sure.
isn't even close to being hit here.
Sure, but.
So the zoning,
The amount of
the zoning
upland.
bylaw tells the applicant, it could be much
More than
denser.
50.
And the board is saying, no, it's way too dense. There's an inconsistency there.
Special permit
Sure, what's that?
Special permit application, the board has discretion on what they want to do.
Yeah, I understand that. But,
But we hear your concern with the traffic, and
We
I
just
mean,
wanna keep
parking.
it safe. I mean, we wanna
More-
keep it
absolutely,
safe, that's
yeah.
all.
and we
Yeah.
wouldn't propose a project that we felt was unsafe for the community either. I mean, there's when you rent units and you have 2 parking spaces provided on the unit, I don't think, well, let me have a party with all my closest friends and we'll have 10 people parking here.
Sure.
I know because I entered into a lease agreement that only has 2 parking spaces. I can't do that
and one's in the garage, or they?
unless I have an agreement with my neighbors.
Are those, sure, are
To do
those
it.
2 parking spaces that are in your unit, is one in the garage, one in the driveway, or can you put side by
Yes.
side in the driveway?
Yeah, so it's tandem, so I do have to work with my wife to get the car in and out.
Okay.
But, she gets up earlier, she works at a hospital, I do not, so
So you
she
get the
parks
garage?
outside and I get the garage. But, I mean, it depends on everybody's situation. I wouldn't, if I lived here and I had 3 people with 3 cars, this wouldn't even be an option for me. I would rule it out, I wouldn't live here. So I think a lot of it is the type of people that you get here are not gonna be the types of people that throw large parties,
Mhm.
just out of sheer necessity.
Mhm.
But I hear your concern, because I mean, who doesn't want to have a neighborhood party and then, you know, where are you gonna park?
Yeah, I'm less worried about the parties than I am
Regular, everyday.
regular, everyday people parking on the street because.
Again, not having any public transportation, not like no parking, like we have nothing. You have to have a car. When your kid gets a license here, at that day they turn 16 and a half, they get a car because there's no other options for them to get anywhere. This is something that when you live in a town, this town for a long time, you see. And that's why you see every single house has 3 cars because they got mom and dad and a kid that has a car
Yeah.
typically.
Yep.
Um,
But I understood what you're saying, then this is probably not an option for them for that reason, but
But-
you're gonna have problems, and I just foresee problems here, just because your wife gets home first, she knows you park in the garage, she's gotta go out with the front of her, she's gotta leave her car on the road, so that you can pull in the garage and then pull her car in after. It's gonna happen, and I'm sure it happens in your house occasionally.
Yeah.
Exactly. So-
Doesn't ruin my day.
So, but those roads are only 22 feet wide, so if she parks in the road, you're limiting access for emergency.
Oh, you
vehicles.
mean parking in the road? Oh, no, there's no parking in
Spot.
the road. Like, you can't. People wouldn't be able to get around.
Yeah,
So,
there you go.
yeah, people don't do it.
Right.
So it's kind of like a community thing. And if someone does do it, you know, it kind of gets enforced by the community and, you know, the car would get eventually towed, someone would call the cops.
Okay.
So I guess to that point, because we do need to have some plan revisions in place for the next meeting. We don't want to obviously have all those plans get substantively reviewed and then have to
Yep.
reduce the scope of the
Yep.
project.
Yep.
How strongly does the board feel, like, can we, about like the density, like, do we need to actually reduce the units? Do we need to provide maybe a few more parking spaces?
Yeah, eliminate the garage space and come back with 20 more, 30 more spaces.
30
Because I
more?
look at the snow, like, you know, when it snows and you
Yeah.
have snow piled there, it seems like there's enough snow, but that's definitely gonna eliminate those
Yeah.
parking spots right there, absolutely.
There's no parking there.
So, no,
There's
you've
a
got,
turnaround.
so if we look at Olga Lane,
Well, then there's no
you've got 5 parking spots there and you have the snow storage behind those. Now, the center of Olga Lane.
Yeah, that's just
Yes.
recognizing that the plow guys are gonna wanna do 2 things. They're gonna wanna come to the end and off, and when they get to these, they're gonna wanna just push snow off these spaces.
There's cars there.
That's just being realistic.
So if there's.
Well,
cars there,
in
they don't
the
think
lawn
they-
area in the back,
Yeah.
not in the parking
Yeah,
space.
we're not-
Sure, but what I'm saying is there's cars there, the snowplow's not gonna be able to access
Yeah.
that snow storage area if there's cars parked there.
Well, sure, it happens everywhere. If somebody's left their car out and while the, plows are going by, they block part of
But
the
where else are they gonna
snow.
put their car?
Yep.
Yeah.
Where else will they put it? Down at the library?
Because
I mean,
it hasn't been plowed yet, so they can't move their car. So you're stuck. Now you're gonna end
Well-
up putting snow into the guardrails. So you need,
I mean, so there
independent,
can be, like, so I have had conditions in communities where if you don't feel the snow storage is adequate, that if it reaches an overflow point, you can agree to have some of the snow trucked off-site to remove it from the site entirely. I mean, we could consider that option if the board was amenable to something like that, but, I mean, there's really, that's just kind of the nature of the beast with some of these developments is, I mean, snow goes where snow goes. It's, everybody lives in New England. we all
Well,
live in New
Right in the
not really,
wetlands.
because there's
Yeah.
a wetland right here, and there might be a
Mhm.
temptation to dump the
Yeah.
snow in the wetland, and that's not okay.
That's why we don't show snow storage off of the parking that backs up to the wetlands. We have we're saying snow storage off here where, the next day, sun comes, it melts, flows into the.
And there are guardrails.
right, into the driveway, goes through the drainage system. Again, push snow up here, what happens, sun comes the next day, flows into the driveway, goes into the drainage system, same as here. Sun comes the next day after the snow is piled here, melts, goes into the drainage system before getting to wetlands. We didn't propose snow storage, snow to be pushed adjacent to the wetlands. Or there.
So the root cause is, for all the issues, is that there's not enough parking.
It's
And,
just-
and no matter
Too
how,
dense.
and
Yeah.
so, no matter
Yeah,
what happens, then there needs to be more parking to kind of fix
right.
everything else.
Which
It
is
would
the-
fix the, like the way, you know, one way versus both ways, obviously, over has to, everything will be fixed if we have more parking. So how do we get to that and that?
And the corollary is less units.
Yep,
If
and
you
that's
want
all,
more, that's the trade-off.
Even if you pretend that the garage spaces don't exist, if you pretend that no one can ever use their garage space, you have 66 other parking spaces for 36 units. If we provided 6 more parking spaces and you still had, and you had 72 parking spaces, even pretending that the garage spaces are completely useless and no one can ever use them, you would still have 2 spaces per unit. Would that be adequate?
2 1/4 for the zone, for zoning, for a multi-family dwelling unit. Plus, you should, as an owner of it, this is gonna be a beautiful community with guest spaces additionally, and independent snow plowing, areas, not, behind the parking space. But the snow removal,
That-
snow storage areas behind the parking spaces.
That's just being realistic. If you provided, if you said the snow storage is just somewhere off on the side of the road, how are they gonna get it there? I mean, we're trying to be realistic in that the snowplow drivers, they wanna go straight lines, they wanna hit certain things, and if you provide them a spot where they can push snow that's someplace they can turn in, I think that's just being
Mr. Petro, the
realistic.
cars are parked right there, in
In
the
front of
snow,
the snow
in front of the snow
storage space.
storage.
Well,
Because they can't move, because it's snowed in. The cars are parked there, it snows, and then I got a foot of snow and I can't move my car.
I know, I would always get notices via email.
Right.
As a storm was approaching, reminding everyone
Yeah.
to not put their car in a outside parking space, to keep it in your driveway.
Don't park
And then
on the
please,
street,
and
street
please
plowing.
move your cars after the storm is over so that they can clear your driveway.
And then they
That's what's
park it
done.
on L. Stevens Road.
Where else are they
They
gonna put
park
it?
their car on L. Stevens Road. While you're snow plowing at 3 in the morning or something like that.
I mean, I still will harken back to kind of my argument to, if you have more than 3 cars, this is not the community for you. Because, I mean, anybody who lives in New England knows that it's gonna be site constrained when there's snow. So like, you won't have the ability to park on the street. So, I mean, I hear your point, it's just, I mean, 2.8 parking spaces per unit is quite a lot, and it's in excess of what's required under the bylaw. So it's hard to rationalize reducing units when we're compliant with everything. We only need site plan review. There's no other forms of zoning dimensional relief that we need for this project. We try to be really mindful about putting something here that works, and we take your concerns very seriously. That's notwithstanding our pushback, but I think we've had versions of this project circulating for 1.5 years. We really think that this is a good version of this.
Is that?
Public comments?
Yeah, we can, we've beaten this one up a little bit. What, I'm just looking.
I hear you,
What,
thank you for listening.
Yes. And what are the conditions, or what are the other,
Oh, one other thing before I forget, and I had briefly touched on this, one of the other meetings, and I had meant to include this change in this iteration of the plans, but I forgot. I just wanted to note that we talked about how L. Stevens Road, the dashed dot lines here and right at the tip of the pen are the actual pavement right now. And you see this thick black line with a blue shading to it, that's the actual right-of-way limits. It's actually over the line here, and I had meant to have, to talk with the surveyor about drawing up a parcel to be given to the town so that the right-of-way of L. Stevens Road includes all of the travel way, the actual paved surface that people drive. And I forgot to put that on this plan while I was rushing to make these other changes, but we will make that also. Just because right now, if somehow, somebody had I don't know, something happened right there, I don't know what the legal
Yeah.
repercussions would be. They'd be actually outside of the town road and,
And the force main is inside of that?
again, yes, the shading here was to indicate, you know, green, white area not being touched.
Yeah.
And this ribbon of green is where the force main is to go.
The ribbon agreement, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Is there a sidewalk within the development?
No, there's not. There's sidewalk all along L. Stevens Road, all along North Main Street, with crosswalks at the site entrances, but not.
No interior sidewalks.
No interior sidewalks because there's no room for them.
So there's no sidewalks on the Olga Lane at all? These would have the outside ones, right? Like the,
Well, yeah, so Olga would have nothing.
Yeah,
That's
the
gonna
other
be
ones
pretty
have
unattractive.
Is there,
I've never
Some-
seen,
To not have
all of our
sidewalks.
subdivisions have sidewalks.
At Wartville Acres in Grafton, there are no
Yeah,
sidewalks.
some-
And
Grafton's new Grafton.
perfectly fine.
It's not a requirement?
All of our subdivisions have sidewalks, how come we don't
Yeah,
have
we don't
sidewalks
have
here?
it from multifamily, it's not a subdivision.
Yeah.
We have some new.
And no.
What waivers are you looking for? You looking for any waivers?
Not sure at this point. By the way, one other quick point is, the building commissioner pointed out that as a result of the zoning change in regard to the village zoning district and sidewalks and curbs, that the curbs on North Main and L. Stevens have to be granite, and that the sidewalk has to be concrete. That was part of the recent zone change.
New, yeah.
When you were here the last time, I thought you had a couple 3-bedroom units. Were those removed?
No, they're all the same.
They're all
units.
2.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And no trash, no dumpsters?
No, roll out barrels
Yeah.
to the street. And again, even the narrower driveways here are 14 feet wide. You can roll past a car, which takes up basically a 9-foot space pretty easily.
Right, so no sidewalks, no trash, so
Where do we put our
private.
where do we put our roll-out dumpsters?
Yeah,
We
right in,
live here?
right in
Where
the
are they?
driveway,
In the garage.
In, like instead of their car?
blocking the car.
Oh.
So two rollout trash bins and 3 private trash haulers into the facility.
I mean, those are things that we condition to,
Yeah, the
that
snow.
single hauler trash. That's something that's,
Sure, that's reasonable.
Can you draw up a storage for the 2 barrels of roll-off barrels that are gonna be required for each of these units?
Sure. I mean, well, again, each of the driveways is at least 14 feet wide.
Yeah.
Car parking space is 9, so there's 5 feet to the
Mm.
side of it, whether it's to one side or to each. As Joe was pointing out, we're looking at it was hard to figure out, looking at the small type. Each garage unit, though has a 9-foot wide opening, has 16 feet of width and 23 feet of depth in that garage, which is enough to roll your barrel here and have your car parked leading up to it, and you still would have plenty of space.
Now I should park my truck in there.
So you're gonna have absolutely no parking on the streets, as we,
Well, what we'd like to work out is how to have that to be acceptable to you folks. As Joe was saying at his development
We want
he's at,
emergency vehicles to be able to get
people
in and
get
out.
towed.
If
Well,
that's just a matter of putting
I'm
a
thinking
don't,
of everyday
don't park at the
vehicles.
street sign.
but who enforces that? I mean, that's the question. Is that up to town enforcement? Is that up to the developer? Is that the
Well, are
owners?
they private
the
roads?
property owner?
What you were saying at yours is up to the developer or the owner, right?
It would be, this is an owned development, these are rental houses, these are not for sale, so this is all responsibility for the landlord to make sure, or the property management company to enforce.
Are we just giving like, is the department just
Reason
getting tickets, is that?
I was
what's
asking
going
that
on?
was to say,
No.
you're gonna
It's
have
private,
kids living there and stuff,
The-
and
It's private
there's gonna be a
roads, so-
school
There would be
bus coming
zoning
up and down
fines,
that road.
zoning enforcement fines.
Yeah, I mean,
That's another thing
Yeah.
about parking on the road, I mean,
Yeah.
in and out,
Yeah,
and
now
kids
we're on the
going
hook
in
for
and
that.
out, it's a big safety problem.
Can't get
Well,
parking.
well, so what
We
can
can't
happen
do that.
is,
Zoning
it
enforcement
can be built
officer.
into leases as a breach of the lease if you do certain things. That can be viewed and it can be kind of levied as a threat. I mean, at the end of the day, someone's gonna have to call the cops and they're gonna have to call a tow company and get
Well,
the
that's
car
the
towed.
enforcement, I mean,
Right.
that's part of it, that's.
So that will
we
happen
could-
regardless of whether
so
it's public or private.
how-
Is there a property management company?
No,
Not on site.
not on site.
So walk through, so someone parks their car because whatever, they have a guest staying there for a few months. And so now there's a car constantly parked on the road, whatever, because all the spots are taken. So people complain, whatever, you can't really do anything, you call the owner. The owner gives them like 14 letters, maybe a couple notices to quit because they're not, I mean, what's the actual, how do you actually keep everybody safe if you have a couple of people who are, I'm a landlord, I'm telling you, I have great tenants, I'm very lucky that I haven't done an eviction in a long time, it takes forever and it's incredibly expensive, so, I'm not evicting them for a parking
Yeah.
issue. So how do you actually enforce
Yeah,
that?
exactly.
How do you keep everybody else safe on
Yeah.
this private road? And
Yeah.
I think this is, I think
Yeah.
right now it's just a messy corner. It's-
Yeah,
it's-
You have
This
to
is,
have
this
it
looks like a
like
beautiful
almost like a
place,
condominium,
but
like a housing
Yeah.
authority.
That's-
an
that's
HOA,
the
yeah,
issue.
Right,
Something
and
that's
the
enforced
cops
by where-
won't
need
wanna
an
get
HOA.
involved.
Right.
I mean, I'm just saying as a
That
landlord,
could-
like, there's
that
really
could- I mean-
nothing, since it's a private road, there's really nothing, all we could do is keep on writing, the town could keep on writing letters to the.
Well, that could be conditions too.
Calling the police, I mean, is that really an option?
No, it's a
If
private-
a parking
Please
violation
don't
is not a
report private,
township
but like,
on a private
someone
road.
parking
Well,
illegally at
that's
a
true.
shopping center.
Though, I mean,
Police can't do
these
anything
violations,
about
we
it.
can have a relationship with a tow company,
ADA
call a tow
spot.
company to come out and do it. So it might not be the cops. I don't know what it would look like, but
It
like
can
there's,
look like-
if it becomes a problem, there's things the
So
landlord
our job
can
is to
do.
find the worst thing that could happen to this town and protect it. So it sounds like we're being critical, but it's because this is our job to make sure that we're protecting our town, our residents, our, you know.
I can tell you, I lived at Shrewsbury Commons some years back, and we used to joke about how you'd see this, I forget the name, I've blessedly forgotten the name of the tow truck company, coming through there all the time. I think it seemed like they were almost on a bonus payment method or something. If you find a car, you know, parked in the visitor spaces who's not supposed to be there,
Be a
or
gold mine
vice
for the tow
versa,
company if
they were
if
towing.
this became a
because
problem,
you would-
they'd be driving down that
So
road.
you're saying that
You
the
would-
owner will have an agreement with the tow company?
That's one option, because that
Yes.
actually seen what was done at Shrewsbury Commons, because you would see this tow truck company driving through there, going all around, and he was clear, he was looking for scofflaws or people violating
I'd
it.
Once
like
again,
to see
that-
an
That he
agreement
had the right to
of
tow.
that sort on writing.
I
That
was-
requires a property management
Yeah.
company and an HOA and
Yeah,
leases.
it's
So-
hard to
So
imagine
these are
this
all
from
things
the
that
remote.
can be
Yeah,
conditioned.
I think if it became a problem, it could, like, something could be done
We don't
about
wanna
it.
wait till it becomes a problem.
Um,
Try to prevent.
if, when I worked in the selectman's office, I was the parking clerk, which is kind of hilarious, because we maybe got 4 parking tickets a year. But from what I understand, Amazon has a big parking problem, and they've been ticketing people up there, and that's private land. Karen LaCroix.
Really?
Yeah, because when the shifts change, they're parking where they shouldn't, because the other shift hasn't left yet. Yeah, Karen LaCroix can
What,
tell you about
what,
it.
at
So is the
Amazon?
town getting,
So they have a
getting
deal,
stuck
so
with
they
some
have
of
a
this
deal
stuff?
with the.
Police
Police,
ticketing
the
people.
Amazon has asked the police to ticket, so.
Police. on the
Well, that's
private-
For revenue, you know.
Road sidewalks,
Yeah.
inadequate, so I mean, if.
So anyway,
If you hear, sorry,
It's funny.
if you hear what the board's saying, I think you've kind of heard the gist of it. The feeling is there's not enough parking, there's no sidewalks, there's minimal adequate roadway, and it all comes down to the density and the topology of this piece of land. If there's something you want to do to your plans to affect a change in that way, then it might be in the best interest to do so. I think that's what I'm hearing from
Yeah,
everybody.
two rollout barrels, no sidewalks, no visitor spaces.
Right,
It's
we get
just-
that you want to, the profit needs to be as high as possible, but less spaces makes
Yeah.
everything more comfortable, safer, the long term, probably preventing issues.
Yeah. Can we take some comments from the public? Any comments or just listening in?
Just listening.
Thank you.
Do you have anything?
Any questions?
No, I'm,
We talk enough for you?
And any,
I'm sorry, I do.
Sure.
The sewer moratorium, is that still on, or is that?
that's a good question. I'm not sure if it's a total moratorium or a soft
They-
moratorium.
they-
That's a
They
question. for the sewer
reinstated it,
department. Yeah.
but, they are allowing people to tie in.
Yes. Approved? It's. if
I have
you-
a lot
if-
that just got that got approved.
Just got
I have
approved, so
not
you
tied
you
in.
paid that, you paid the betterment.
I paid the
They're
betterment.
holding your spot for you as of
Yes,
now.
right.
But
Because I've been
new-
paying for 10
New
years.
homes, I know that they didn't allow Curtis Hill to tie in, but that
Well,
was.
Curtis Hill
77
did not
homes.
have frontage on the line.
True, true.
He was considering purchasing a parcel. I watched the meeting, but I'm not quite
Yeah.
sure. And there was question on sufficient space. So that's why my number one question was, this is a moot point if they don't get town sewer, because you'll need to do private or
Yeah, there's no way.
abandon it with the wetlands, so.
Yeah, I heard that there was a space issue. Right?
Yeah, there's.
Okay,
Yeah, so we're gonna need to find the result of that.
okay, any other questions? We can continue this?
Yeah, I mean, we've heard your comments, so I don't know if the board would be willing to just continue us to the next meeting on the 17th,
Okay.
with the understanding of if we can't get our remaining plans,
That's
we'll,
fine.
we'll maybe
That's fine.
email and ask for a continuance.
Can we have Mike Andretti at our next meeting that we look at this? It'd be good to ask him some questions. Possibly council? I mean, town council? I mean, we're getting in a big development here that I think is gonna have a lot of conditions, and I wanna make sure that we get everything we need to legally in there that. So I think if the developer has his counsel here, I think we should have ours also, so.
But we will also continue to explore alternative methods of making the site more accessible
Okay.
and safe. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things right away is,
Exactly.
I can make more units have clearly 2 parking spaces in front of them. I made 7, very obvious to me at the
Okay.
time choices. I
Yep.
could definitely add some more
Okay.
that way, and help towards that end.
Okay, so we can do, okay, so, motion to continue the public hearing for Villages North Main Street to September 17th.
Make a motion to continue the applications for the villages at 35 North Main Street until September 17th.
Second.
Motion a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous, thank you.
Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you guys.
Thank you
Always.
very much.
Thank you.
Sorry, I thought we would be hopefully quicker. Have a good night.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Night.
Have a good night.
Sorry about that.
In spite of my numerous requests to find out why we were brought here tonight, I still don't know.
Okay.
So if you could let me know, it'd be really nice.
That's a good question, so.
I've made 3 phone calls to the planning board that haven't been returned, Thursday, Tuesday, and today. So I really frankly, a little bit nonplussed by this, folks. So why are we here?
Understood, understood. That's a good question. I think we're still waiting on legal.
So you kept me here for all this time just to tell me you're waiting?
And I apologize for that. I don't know why we continued with this.
When I spoke to John Silverstein, the city spoke to their attorney yesterday or today, and he had not given me any feedback one way or the other on, you know, what, as far as, their decommissioning one, so we're waiting for feedback from him, what's more than required, and I haven't received anything yet.
We've got that decommissioning bond now, right? We've got that.
Yeah,
that paper.
the
The
plan.
number is
Yeah.
agreed to, if the issue is whether or not we have to put up cash. I will reiterate the argument I've made 4 times if you would like me to. If not, then just do what you're gonna do.
I mean,
Because
I-
this is
I-
seriously an impediment to development in the town, and I'm astonished that the planning board would engage in this kind of behavior.
And I tend to agree with you at this point. So it's been too long with our council.
Yeah.
We've been waiting on them. I'm not sure why we don't have a settlement on this, and have it figured out.
And I think the argument is, as Mr. Nolan has presented, like, in the bylaws, it doesn't say cash, what is it, escrow is required. So it was all surety, and that's where your
NextEra
argument
is
has
one of the
been.
biggest energy companies in the world. They've put up bonds all
Right.
over the United States and the world that have been accepted by everyone, and this is the 4th time I'm here on this issue. The bond has gone from $220,000 as approved by the Graves Group in 2020, and now you're up to $641, and you're still not
Yeah.
satisfied, and that is unacceptable. So I would request that if this is going to be on one more time, please put me on first so that I don't have to wait until 9:30. I left my office at 4:30 this afternoon to come here out of respect for the planning board, and this is the respect that you're giving me. I've been here numerous times. I'm sorry I'm a little hot by this, but this is really unreasonable. And quite frankly, it's an impediment to development in the town. So you guys you're not planning, you are de-planning, in my view.
I agree with you and apologize for that. I didn't realize that we didn't have a solution for this tonight, and that you were on the end of the agenda. So I do apologize for that, and I understand your.
Quite frustrating.
Yep, and I understand your frustration.
I think we can finish this off by a couple of emails and you know,
Hopefully,
go
it should
forward
be-
with
I
the
mean, it-
decommissioning plan is accepted, like we
I
have
think-
reviewed and you've increased the value.
By
It
3
appears to
times.
me that
By
general
3 times
opinion-
since 2020. We've tripled it since 2020.
Yeah.
This is just unreasonable.
Julie,
It's absolutely
I
unreasonable.
don't-
Well, I'm glad you're amused, man.
I don't have it.
I'm really glad you're
You had
amused.
hazardous waste missing, okay? That's the
It's
biggest
done.
amount.
The bond is done. What are you gonna continue to argue the stuff you've been arguing for the last 4 meetings? It's already resolved. This is, why are you doing this? I just don't understand. I really
So-
can't understand it. Neither can my client, and, yeah, so, can we get to a resolution on this matter soon, so we can either do what we're gonna do and finish the project? The project is built. It's out there. You've all seen it. It's built.
Has it been hooked up or energized?
I'm not answering any questions to you.
That's mature.
So,
Well, you know
Yeah,
what? Bring me back again and I'll answer them
We
next
can
time. How about
conclude,
that?
I don't think it's, we don't need Mr. Nolan to make a visit out here, we just conclude this via email.
Please do it, and
Yeah,
please do it in
yeah.
writing in case
Yeah.
we need to take it somewhere
Yeah,
else,
yeah.
okay? Please make sure that the decision is in writing.
so
Yeah.
what is the holdup with council? I mean, I know you.
They're just
Kenneth,
slow.
like that-
I mean,
Yeah,
we're
so
one of their
I
many
think they-
clients, and
I think they've also had their opinion, like it's,
And
you
they-
know,
and they-
just
Yeah,
point
I
back
mean-
to the bylaws, yeah.
I don't think, you know, he's kind of expressed his opinion already, as the board knows.
Yeah.
And, you know, as much as they want to change
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
you've got to follow the bylaws
Yeah.
at this point in
Yeah,
time.
I think
Until
so.
the bylaws are amended.
I agree, yeah,
We'll come up with a resolution before we invite you back here again. and
Thank you,
we'll let
sir.
know.
yeah.
Okay?
So what are we
We'll
gonna
make sure
do
that
today?
It's resolved, and then you've got clear guidance going forward before you come back here.
Thank you. I would appreciate that, and so would my client.
But just to Mrs. Nolan's point, that
Another
we've got
$1,000
time,
my client has to
but I
pay for
think that
tonight.
we've already done a public notice for 7 o'clock at the next meeting, so you might have to be second, because once we put in the public notice for a certain time.
Well, we haven't-
Divide that.
For what?
17.
is.
I'm on vacation on the 17th, and I'm going to the Big E on the 17th, so I won't be here on the 17th. Why don't you put it on the next one?
Okay.
So you can make sure your business is
Yep.
complete before I come back, all right?
So you'd rather be no till the first October meeting?
October first.
That would be fine.
It'll be first on the agenda.
Then we'll.
That would be
And
fine.
it's-
Thank you.
And it should be,
First on the
Yeah.
agenda.
hopefully
If
quick.
we can't resolve it.
Thank you.
In and out.
Am I excused?
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So make a motion to, move this forward. Do we need this isn't a public hearing, this is just.
What's the first meeting in October?
I think we
What-
can even conclude without having.
October, first meeting in October is October first.
So,
Can we at least do that, the hazardous waste, like the other surety, the one that says will also cover any conservation issues and hazardous waste, at least go in that direction versus,
do we have the right count on the panels?
I haven't seen the count. Remember the day I was here, there was 2 sets of plans, there were 2 sets of electrical where I could tell how many. They're not there. I came in one day and looked. Kurt said he has the electrical schematic, but I don't know if that has a count. But if you, this goes back to our bylaw says the 3 forms. It doesn't say the client gets to choose. It's a huge gray area. And if you ask me, our bylaws are ours. They're not for them to decide.
It does
How?
have
But
cash in
my
it.
only
It does, it says cash, insurance, or line of credit. Doesn't it have,
That's why we need
I
legal
don't believe
Okay.
that's in the bylaw.
wording.
But they're not
Shall
getting back
provide
to
for
us. They're not, you know,
this,
is
this, or that.
it doesn't say
Is
cash.
this Borowski that
Cash.
we're waiting on,
Yeah.
or?
See, so it, but if we go back.
Shall provide one of these, this, or that.
And this
And
is,
they provided that.
well,
And that's
we
the
can
bylaws. And
choose. It doesn't say, it says in the form of this. So,
And it is a gray area, and I see what you're
so
saying.
if the roles were reversed, they'd say they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
But that being said,
we're not gonna win that argument. This, or that, they provided that, we have to
But-
accept.
So
Why
the
not?
sureties are false sense of security.
Yeah, well, the
If you
sureties
read
do
their-
have, we can account for materials, fluids, and hazardous materials. So we
So the dollar
can
amount's
add
good.
a rider or a different surety that includes hazardous materials or,
Right, it's called a
Cleanup.
hazardous
Yeah,
surety
So
bond.
that's it.
So if you read, this
Yeah.
decommissioning
So-
bond is PARS.
yeah.
are we letting
This is
ourselves get
theirs.
bullied because our attorneys are slow? Is that how this is working out? So,
And-
I mean, I feel
Johnson
bad,
Associates
business is business.
discussion with their
No.
attorney.
Right, so I don't wanna get bullied because our attorneys are like slow. That's
Well, I
just,
mean,
and I get it, you feel bad, like, it seems a little unprofessional, but we're a board here that is making decisions based on our, attorney's recommendation. Because our attorney's slow, he's coming and yelling at us, and I get it, maybe he shouldn't have been invited in, that kinda stinks for him, but this is the art of business, this is just how it is. I mean, I don't know what to say, like, I don't wanna get bullied, all right, we'll give you what you want because our attorney's slow, like, that's not okay.
Good.
I mean, is that what you would do in your own business if you had a contractor and you felt bad, would you kinda say, here, I'll pay it, yeah, 10 grand.
Yeah,
no
well,
problem."
it's a,
I mean-
Johnson Associates feedback from him is like, generally the following bylaws, which is what is in place right now, you can't proceed planning board, decommission policy because it doesn't comply with the bylaw.
And the bylaw
So
says this, or this, it doesn't say this, or this by choice of
Yeah,
planning
right,
board.
it's silent.
And
So
that was
that's-
given to us by the state.
Yep,
That
so
was their guidance.
unfortunately, that's the
Yeah.
legal,
So then I
that's the
say we
legalese that
do
you kinda
the,
needed in there.
So we're gonna make the change at the
The
next,
environmental
the next
surety.
meeting that we can make a change at, we should make the change at planning board's discretion. There isn't any, overarching thing that says, the planning board does have discretion on things like that. There's no, cases or anything that put us on the
I
upside.
could tell you if legal got back to us.
the state stays
Um,
away from bonds. They will be addressing decommissioning, you watch, in the future, because of this.
What does the state make contractors do? Let's look and see what.
Yeah, the Department of Land Management requests, I believe, cash. That's
So
federal,
maybe-
on
So
their
we can,
land.
we can rewrite this whole thing. What we're gonna do at this meeting was, I have some suggestions for bylaw language changes. We're gonna get them in this meeting, and then we're gonna put them on the next public, or town meeting,
Okay.
and edit the bylaws to change all of this.
Change some of this wording.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's-
what really needs to be
yeah,
done.
at this meeting, we're gonna do it
To
right
give
now.
power
and
to
change
the
it.
board.
Do you,
And I would love that we
So
actually
we've
get
got-
an original copy
Yeah.
of this.
Okay, let's go,
not-
let's move that down to other business,
Yeah.
unknown at time
Yeah.
planning. Let's just close everything else out that we can. So we've got a 61A lot release of North Sullivan Road, EMC Development.
Yeah, North Sullivan Road, it's lot 28A3 and 28.3.1, two adjacent lots. So they want to develop them for anybody that wishes to see it.
So this is off of, I'm sorry.
Yeah, North Sullivan Road.
North Sullivan Road.
It's on the back side of Lamb's Farm.
Yep,
Yeah.
okay. Yep.
Yeah, so, and it's two small lots already, it's part of a larger tract of land.
So I don't see any,
With
I don't.
two
They're like
separate
3 acres
smaller
each,
lots.
is that what it
Yeah,
is?
I don't see any.
I looked it up.
Doesn't seem like anything that's
Well,
would
they're
be
going
usable
from
by the
what to
town.
what?
So lot 60, you familiar with the 60A release? So it's basically a recommendation from the planning board on whether to,
right of first refusal.
yeah, give us
So
our.
much for-
So the latest is like, in low taxes because it sits in.
This is the
It's a
agricultural,
bonus.
Yep,
yes,
so-
okay, yes, I do understand what it is then, thank
So
you.
this
Oh, I
is
thought
just
it already
a
closed.
well, this is
Okay.
just a recommendation to the select board on what the planning board feels, whether they should, have their first right of refusal or not.
And this, we can put some soccer and baseball fields instead.
That's the whole
Is it-
thing.
it-
Put our own
You
battery
could, but you'd have no
park.
parking.
Yeah, and the
And
land,
parking.
Yeah,
the town would have to purchase the land.
yeah,
Yep.
at
The
fair
two
value.
building lots that are
Yeah.
$100,000 apiece plus, yeah.
I don't think it's a good spot, so, okay.
There was some big land, big land.
Do we have a motion?
I make a move, we approve the A&R. For-
No, this is a 61A
I'm
lot
sorry, I'm
release.
sorry, yeah, the 61 A.
You would recommend to the select board that, they be,
Yeah,
that
that we
they
don't.
Pass.
first
pass on
right.
it. Yeah. Is that what your motion
That's
is?
what I meant to say.
Yeah, pass on the first right of refusal. I'll
Yep.
second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. It's unanimous. Master plan discussion, let's just do this quick and then we can move on to the next one. So we recently submitted or put the RFP out more publicly. We mailed it to a few companies that do that kind of thing. We posted on the planners listserv website. We got some feedback from that, from some people. Any other interest in the RFP and doing our, do you have any more submittals? I guess is
Yeah,
the
well,
question.
we had to pick up, one thing is they didn't have an end date for the submittal, so I had to give them one and do the time here when people started asking me the question. I gave them till September 16th, so that I would have whether the
Something for this,
applications that are coming in by the next meeting on the 17th.
How much interest did you get? Was it just one or two people, or were there several?
I'd say it's
outfits?
like 6 or 7.
Okay, so we had one submittal prior to advertising what we did, so I think it was a good thing that we put it out to a little bit more to, help the town get some other interest in there.
But yeah, some of them were back, like how much money do we have to spend on the match plan? Because they want to see how much they can bill for it,
Yep.
so. But, yes, I have interest from, I'd say 6 or 7 different
Okay.
companies.
So by the end of by the next meeting, we can have some of those submit, well, it'll probably take the beginning of October if we don't get them back till the 16th. meeting's on the 17th.
Yeah, well, I mean, meeting
We'll
on
have
the
something.
17th, we take, say.
At least
how
we'll have the
many we
submittals
have,
and then we can
who
make a
they are,
decision on.
yeah.
Can
beginning
we
of
all
October.
get, I don't know what the rules, can we get that?
Yes.
When they're in, can we get them so we can pre-review, and then maybe we can come in and vote and ask the three we like best, or two we like best, or one if it's
We
clear.
can all look at the proposals.
I don't
and-
think we can vote, I think that's considered.
No, no, no,
Well, we
no,
can't,
no, I mean,
but-
come in here and say, let's choose, let's all vote on three to come in and present to us.
Oh.
Can we put those on the SharePoint? The SharePoint drive so that we could,
I'm gonna ask.
if you can, okay.
What,
As
what
long as
are
we
the
don't
The
discuss it.
submittals,
Yeah, not
the
to vote,
proposals.
Yeah, not to
no,
discuss,
no,
that we
just,
can-
just to review, so we kinda come in with
Just
some
so that we all
sort of-
have them and look at them, and there will be no discussion on it, but.
Yeah, no, right, review
Yes.
and come in and be ready to, and.
So
kinda-
if they're on the SharePoint, we all have access to that SharePoint, and if you don't, I can get you access to the SharePoint.
So, yeah, as they come
What-
in,
what
I'll put
email
them on.
How do you know?
SharePoint on for me?
I think I used your town email.
So we have to have the town, we have to get the town email.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have
SharePoint,
town
it has to be.
When,
I don't even know
when
my
do you meet
password
with
for
the
that.
selectmen to
I know I
talk
get
about
the
that?
email, but I need that.
That's the point, so I
Yeah.
meet with the selectmen next week. We meet with the selectmen
Yeah.
on Tuesday, so at least I can give them that information, that we received one bid first. We resubmitted the bid and did a little advertising for it, and we're expecting several more back, so.
To see
They
what
ask-
price range they're coming in at to
It
get the
was-
most
yes,
for our.
Did
yes.
they ask you to come in and talk about that? Yeah, they're really stressed.
Yeah.
They're, yes,
Yeah.
yes. They're calling me in front of the principal's office.
Yeah, right.
I've told them 1,000 times.
At some point, I wasn't
on
gonna
video
request the
that
town
it's the
email.
planning board owns the master plan.
Yep, yep, yep. They wanna make sure it's moving forward, and we
I get
can't,
it.
yes, I get it. But I think we did the right thing by putting it back out there, so.
Good.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, good to know. We
Okay,
can do it
that's where we're
twice,
at.
so.
Can we do the minutes quick,
All right.
and then we'll move back to
And then,
other
you
business?
guys just have to talk.
Then he'll have, yeah, we'll have the
Password,
contact,
yeah.
yeah. Thank you.
Draft minutes from August 13th. Looks good. No issues.
Make a motion to approve the planning board draft minutes for August 13th, 2025, as written.
So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. So Silverstein is the lawyer that we're working with for Nextera, and he's in with Bobowski now, right?
Yes,
Okay.
he is.
Is KP Law still the town council? Or are they using? for-
Yes,
for
he
town
gave
list?
feedback that, I don't really know anything about this, so you should find somebody else.
Specialist in.
So who is the council for this town? Which person at KP? Because it used to be
Do we have,
Silverstein, right?
I thought it was.
Oh, it's Cosgrove?
No, we
Okay.
don't.
Yeah.
Cosgrove
But he
retired, and then-
retired and somebody took
Yeah.
over.
Yeah,
Retired.
who does the council for the town now? Is it,
Black?
I'll
Is it
find
some-
out.
is it
I thought
somebody-
was I just have Silverstein in my
No,
head.
he was
Is
at
it
the
some-
last town meeting and I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I
I'll
can't.
Yeah.
find out.
is it somebody from KP Law?
I believe so. I'll
Okay.
find out tomorrow from Selectmen. I'll
Um,
text you on that.
I mean, if we're not gonna get something back from
We need to have
Silverstein,
somebody who's
I mean,
trained.
we need to close that. I mean,
I
we
thought
really
we
need to
did
close it
get
and get an
some-
answer.
Well, you
And if
have
they
that
think we have an
said.
answer and we don't think we have an answer, we gotta figure out where, we gotta figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
McCabe.
Okay,
I didn't
okay, I don't know
Yeah.
why we don't use
Okay.
them.
Yeah, because I met with him when 0 Point sued us
You good-
for the
good.
decommissioning
Bob
bond.
made a good point, just to add him as present to the minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't take that much.
The August
August 13th?
13
Oh, okay.
minutes, yeah.
Be careful.
Big
Thanks
bullies.
for picking
Oh,
that
yeah.
up.
Well, today, I didn't say, I didn't,
Um,
but I saw.
Yeah, yeah, oh, yeah, it's 'cause, yep,
Not to.
yep,
Right.
nope,
Well,
yep.
you were in the
Say, well,
minutes
you-
talking, you were in the minutes
Yeah,
voting,
yeah,
yeah,
so,
just,
you
just,
know.
added, yep. okay.
Good, good. Perfect, gotcha.
Okay. Other business unknown at time of posting. So, you've got changes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very bad changes, so I took, this is section 200, open up your bylaws on the website.
Very good changes.
Good changes, yeah, to this. I'll just circulate them around. I don't have enough copies, but if we can add any language that you'd like to it. This, I typed in the typewriter font, like some of my bad changes that need more words, but this is kind of what I was after, to basically add a few lines in here for post-approval activities, not a big deal, but modifications, we should include repair, upgrades, equipment. I could see they're swapping equipment in 5 years. They should come back and give us all the details on that.
I mean, do we want them coming in here every time they need to do a repair, though? It seems possibly excessive. Upgrades?
May require a site plan, but at least a notification of a repair.
No, I agree, let them ask the question, they could say,
Something,
we're
yeah.
gonna do X, Y, Z.
I
does
like
it-
that.
And then let
Yeah.
us,
If you remember, we had a field change done by 0
Yeah.
Point, and they added 2 batteries.
Yeah, yeah.
They
that
wanted,
kinda
and they were
stuff, right.
fighting for us to
Yeah.
have a field change, and it was already
Yep.
there.
Yeah, and they could, whatever, call it remotely.
Yeah, they call it in, that's nice. Keep us up.
And then so this is A, B, C, D, F, G, H is the abandonment, and then I gets into the financial surety. That's important, but I think there's a sentence in here that we should move to the required documents section, which is C number 2. There's a bunch of required documents. We should make sentence number 2, the applicant shall submit a fully professional engineer. We should take those words and make that a required document. Basically, the decommissioning. The decommissioning policy should be a required document.
You're talking about I?
Part that's being used.
Yeah, we should remove it from I
Okay.
and put it into C, which you don't have a copy of, but it's on the front page of C.
Ah, okay.
We should say, a required document is the
Oh, that's good, because you need it
decommissioning
for a building permit.
process, yeah.
So it should be up
And
front.
this sentence kind of starts talking about what is in a decommissioning estimate. And then something about the surety over 20 years, maybe we put in,
25%
that
cash
has that
deposit.
thing.
yeah, and maybe talk about the surety. It's in there, this estimate shall include this, including fluids and hazardous materials. Maybe we should wordsmith that to say, like, hazardous insurance or something, like
Has a surety, right?
Hazardous surety.
surety.
And
yeah.
that covers the conservation
Separate
issues too,
bond.
right, that covers.
Yeah, I
Or
have
the
enough.
bond
Separate-
should
an independent
include,
bond, a separate bond.
yeah.
Or they have,
An
so it's
addendum to
a
the
thing,
bond.
environmental surety bonds, guaranteed contractors and other service providers comply with federal, state, local regulations, environmental policies, and it says who needs them. Environmental consultants, remediation contractors,
Yeah,
but this was an article that I found, that we need environmental
We
surety
have a lot
bond.
of wetlands.
It's still the same, percent
The
of
same
the
kind of
price.
price too, it's not even that
Um,
huge of a difference in price.
But, and again, for the record, the PAR Corporation's decommissioning bond, the original has section 8, that it won't cover it, I read that earlier. So if we had the actual,
Yeah.
instead of this, doesn't that look like it was like cut and pasted on and put together on a copier? We need an original.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but you're right, section 8 is like, this liability does not extend to hazardous waste cleanup.
We
So a
require,
separate bond that's
And it,
specific to that.
and that's where the money
Experts.
is.
Or not
That's-
exclusive of hazardous
when we ask for
waste cleanup.
insurance binders at work,
Yeah.
it has to be wet ink, like it has to be like stamped in wet ink.
Right.
But we don't take copies because people make them up all the time.
That's
especially
right.
With the new
And-
technology.
And this is not
There's no
chump
guarantee that
change
the
here.
Well, I mean, this is, but this is, I mean, is
This
this
is-
our copy? I mean, I would assume that we've got,
This is what Nolan,
But the
this
lines,
is
and they're not the
his
only ones.
decommissioning
I'm not
bond, but this
picking
isn't,
on PAR.
yeah, it doesn't include
They've all
that.
come in kind of willy-nilly.
So after an incident and you're hosing this down for 4 days and there's all the runoff, yeah, what is there's no remedy for hazardous waste cleanup.
And the industry doesn't talk about it.
So now
If
that's
you
the
go
thing.
online to try to find information, page after page of green energy companies, contractors, everyone that has profit from it. But the states are slowly catching up.
It's in their interest to do what was just described to us, which is wait until the problem happens, and it's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
And then
what I
they,
said,
and then they
it's
go
for
bankrupt
us to.
and then.
And that's it. It's,
Right,
it's
and
not
then you
just
have to
a
recourse.
fire, it's abandonment.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, yeah.
it's,
so
when the
we,
new
so-
technology comes,
So we should
Yeah.
wordsmith this to put in some kind of environmental surety
Yep.
included in the
Yeah.
bond or a separate surety.
I would say because they'll complain about price.
Yeah.
Why do I have to have 2 bonds if it's 1 to 3% the total cost of cleanup?
Okay, then use the whole.
Then
the whole-
use one environmental bond that covers it all,
Right,
which, you better make sure, right?
yeah.
Yeah, if one doesn't, then
Right,
for
right.
the other.
Okay.
so the town meeting's October 20th. We need to have a public hearing prior to that. We need 2 weeks before the public hearing to notice it.
Okay, so let's
that means
notice
we're-
it September 17th.
I
It's the
can't, I
3rd.
can't do that, because the paper requires, the earliest I can do is October 1st.
Oh, okay,
But if I ask for a placeholder
Yeah.
from Andrew, the
Yeah.
administrator,
right, right.
then
Oh, I see.
it would still, but I have to notice the newspaper a week before
Mhm.
the 2 weeks.
I see. So
They
3 weeks
require
waiting.
that, I can't, like, notice the new
So we
business
can't do
for
it for
next
the
week.
So
special
it,
town meeting?
that's the problem, so we need a week before, that gives us to the 10th, then.
And honestly, we do have some power because the state doesn't get involved with bonds.
I still like doing this.
I
and-
wanna
and
do it,
I think
but-
we need to do this
What
and-
if,
and
what if
among
we
other
have
things.
what if we add a short meeting just to come in and vote on it? Does that give
Well,
us
it's still
time?
the public hearing, that's the problem.
And the
is-
posting.
Is the
But if
posting
you
for
have
the
the
public
public
hearing,
an
have the public
opportunity to-
hearing. Cause you have to notice it in the paper, so that's gonna take at least 3 weeks to get that
Yeah.
done. Because you've gotta notice it, then you got, so that's 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's
that's
gonna be done
21
at
days,
least,
and the meeting's on
public
the
hearing
first.
2 weeks before, so we've got a meeting on October
First.
First,
October 1, yeah.
and that's only
It's
19
cutting
days.
it close, but we can do it.
Yeah,
It would be tight, but we could throw another one on the 8th too, if I guess if we
Yeah,
needed to.
we
could-
didn't have a decision
I
on
mean,
the first.
Yeah,
we could do a
let's
public
do it.
hearing on the 8th and add another meeting
So-
in.
Even if it's
But I
short
gotta have
and
a
sweet, just
proposal
to.
of what
Nobody's
we-
getting paid for that, though.
I
I'll
gotta
just say
have
that.
language, what we're-
No
Yeah,
overtime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we thinking your language?
yeah, well, I
You
think we could add
All
some
right.
more words
Somebody-
to it, but I
that's
could
good.
get you,
That's
I could
good.
get you language
Yeah,
within.
we have to have the
Yeah.
proposed language, what we're actually gonna amend in the bylaws on the warrant.
Oh, on the warrant,
Yep.
yeah. Not
But I
for,
need to know
posting,
what
yeah.
we're voting on.
Yep.
But we
at
need an
the
attorney to
meeting,
review it
so
probably too.
We have to have the proposed.
We're pushing it, I'm not sure we can get it.
Sure.
The
No
public
problem.
hearing.
No problem.
We'll just have
Let's-
chat AI
I mean, we can always get some, let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can do.
Let's at least
Let's
post
see what other
this.
towns
So
have
we're
done,
gonna
I can dive
post
in and see.
notice to
Yeah.
have amendment to the zoning bylaws on solar.
200,521.
Is that the solar?
200,521.
200,521.
Yep.
Just edits to that.
This isn't gonna affect anything we have out there right now, this is only gonna affect
Future.
future.
And we hope we don't have any,
Right.
Let's get it in there.
or 30.
Okay,
Um,
so you're gonna put something together?
Yeah,
Put some,
and I'll get something together, maybe email it around, and then you can
We only
all-
make comments to Randy or James.
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
put 'em-
Turn on review,
Yeah.
edit, Word
well,
document.
the problem is we can't discuss it amongst
Yep,
ourselves, so we
that's all.
can send it
Yeah,
back to
send it
her
back.
with our
Yeah, you
corrections.
do it individually,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like, you
No
It's a
reply
good-
all.
don't contact you, you
reply all,
can't
is that
do a
what it is?
group
Yeah.
email. It's better to go
Reply all.
through me.
We
than I
can't
gotta
deliberate
share it.
any place other than this meeting.
Okay,
But
so,
if you send it to me, I can share it with the board.
Can't share opinions.
Yeah. So I'll send out this with my proposed changes, and then you reply back to Randy with your changes, and he,
Although this is
Publish
kind
it.
of a gray area, because we're not really voting on anything, and we're gonna discuss it in a public meeting, so it's not really an open meeting violation, because we're not doing anything until
Yeah,
it becomes,
if you had
becomes a
something in
public
Google
meeting.
Docs,
Hmm.
this is
Yeah,
like
I
the
know.
weird, like if something was in Google Docs and like
Hmm.
we all had access to be able to
Right.
put a comment in or
Yeah.
update, that isn't a
Part of- that's
violation,
not a
as far as
violation?
I know,
Okay.
unless you
Yeah.
have an attorney debate me on that,
Right.
but for what I've
Yeah.
seen from other, it just, you can't like deliberate.
You can't deliberate.
And sort of decide, you
Yep, you
can't
can't.
put a discussion
Yep.
in to be able, that results in a vote.
Yep. And a lot of times the remedy for an open meeting violation is just discuss it in the next
yeah,
meeting.
have a meeting.
Have a meeting and discuss it so that it's in
Can we
public.
do it on our SharePoint?
We can do it on
We
SharePoint.
can edit
Yep.
that's the point of
document,
it, isn't
Yep.
it?
does it
You
have
put
the
it-
edit
yes.
As long
capability?
as it's
Yeah,
on
okay.
track changes, so you can see
Yeah,
who
Yep.
has what.
Yep.
So not Google Docs, but everyone, I'm assuming, has.
And if you
access
don't,
to
send me an
the
email
document.
and we'll figure it out.
can
I
post
do,
it
for
on
if it's town,
SharePoint.
I have
Yeah.
town email, so do I have to
Town
get?
Everybody
SharePoint.
should have read and write access on the SharePoint drive, so you can
Yeah.
put it on a
It's,
read, write, but if
it
you got
has to
time
go
email,
through your
just,
town email.
I'll take a look.
Right.
If I remember the password.
Yeah.
I have it set automatic.
Yeah.
I have one question about, did Kurt ever get back to us on whether the LNG plant is producing power, or it plans to?
I've absolutely no idea, we have
Yes,
no
sir.
part of that.
Well, we had a letter and we were gonna ask Kurt if, just for yucks, cause
So they're
we're,
producing the generating energy off of the transfer of.
remember that
of
letter,
flow-
they
yeah.
got approval, which doesn't mean they're always
Yeah.
gonna do it,
Yeah.
because ISO New England gave them approval. And I had that paper,
Hmm.
we were just gonna
Yeah,
ask
yeah,
Kurt,
you
has he
found-
seen
yeah.
anything, cause that adds more megawatts to
I
what
know
we're
it's
doing.
set up to generate power, whether it's actually doing it or not. I suspect it is, but, you know,
Cause that, we could
Because I know,
open
like,
up,
that-
we
that
could
was
open
one.
up that host agreement, because I believe that was not part of the host agreement.
This is
So,
on the town
we're looking for
website.
revenue for the town,
Uh,
if
yes.
they're
Find the
producing
bylaws
power,
on the town
we get no
website
breaks.
and
But we can just
This
ask
bit.
Kurt, I thought I had the form, the paper here to give them, and I'll print another one from ISO, just to see if they're going ahead with it.
Is the assessor getting all the money from that property? Do we tax them on the value of their equipment?
I don't know how that
I
works.
don't, I believe they're exempt,
Are they?
public utilities.
Oh, is that it?
well, yeah, because
Exempt from that?
if they added a,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, I mean, it might be a shortage.
there's some type of generator or something. So if they're producing power on site, which they claim they are now,
Mhm.
that, they can be exempt.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually now, the latest thing that the state's working on is that EFSB approving batteries, so it takes the power away from the towns.
Yeah, we
Correct.
Whether it's gonna happen or not, we don't know, but I know that's what they're working towards, and the state is leaning towards it.
Yeah,
so-
there's a huge issue because our governor made like a very big campaign promise to make us be zero carbon, and because there is so much, because the credits from the solar, it helps, even though it's a fake zero
Yeah.
carbon, it, in happy minds,
Yeah.
if you spend money and do
Right.
things, you erase
You're green.
all of it, yeah, so
Mhm.
that's why the big push and why everything's just gonna happen, because of that campaign promise, because elections aren't gonna.
Yeah.
It looks good on
And
paper.
We
that's
sent
very
that letter.
saying that we can't handle all this power, so the solution is batteries,
Yeah.
which is why the state is leaning toward exempting batteries from local control so that the job can be put in, which will ultimately help.
nuclear-
Jedi
I don't
mind
know why
trick,
we
this is
just-
not an environmental disaster.
All should be nuclear, nuclear is the best way to go.
Nuclear
Cleanest,
fusion.
it
Okay.
is, right?
Nuclear fusion is clean, no hazardous, no radioactive waste.
Let's get one of
But-
those.
Mini nukes?
But they have a bad rep because you assume it's
Yeah.
No,
fission.
we have LNG, we have,
Fission.
you know,
Yeah.
maybe we need one of
Fusion.
those.
Yeah, we have a nice little bomb sitting on the side of
Let's, I don't know.
For sure.
You know, that side of
Balance.
Chelsea doesn't have anything, that side.
So that's why
they
that
need
letter, we've done so much.
Maybe we should just have a, well,
Maybe we should
any
invite
energy generation is gonna
Fusion
be
Fund.
big, so
everything.
it'll.
Tell everyone else
Yeah,
to
so-
do it.
Exactly.
Okay, any other business? Any planning board update?
We have another proposed gas station could be in store, actually with a separate, building for drive-up restaurant, you know, like a Burger King or that type of facility. The gas station convenience store will also have the drive-up coffee. The two separate buildings with two separate drive-throughs, which is at the location.
In the
of
Village
Food-
District?
Huh? What's that?
Sorry.
I said in the Village District?
That would just be
No, this is on
entertaining.
Route 20. I don't know, for those who are familiar, we call it Elliott Sandbox, down on Route 20,
Oh, yeah.
right where Old
Yeah, okay,
Extension
yeah.
comes out on the 20.
Yeah.
That area's always been like gravel
is this?
processing
Right.
and everything.
Yeah.
That's the site
Oh, right
for
there.
it.
That's
It's
one of
in
them?
very
When
much-
you come on
Where's the other one?
Old Worcester Road.
That's the site for
No,
Baltimore.
that's the site for
Oh,
both
for
of them.
both, oh.
Oh.
Any
It's
movement
actually-
on the other one that we had before us?
Still waiting for the Mass DOT to
Uh,
granting the sign off, but they made him angle the driveways more, and all he's doing is waiting, you know, for Mass
Wow.
DOT to.
That would be an improvement
Well-
there.
Well,
Hate
that's
to say
why,
it, but
that's why, you know, even with the people I met at the other gas station, I said, I can't stress enough, the first people you need to go see is Mass DOT, because they're gonna be the last people that are gonna give you an approval. You know, and
Right,
people will wait, and I'm like,
yeah.
told you.
What if that's
I did see the Board of.
probably more donuts.
Yeah.
That's all we have.
I did see the Board of
Pizza
Selectmen
and
putting together
donuts.
a housing development
Derived from
planning
Chinese.
subcommittee or, so this is something they're pushing now, which is probably a good idea. I mean, we need some
Yeah.
affordable housing, we need the affordable housing in the right spots. But,
We need affordable housing so we don't have it shoved down our throat. at some
so we don't
point.
have it shoved down our throat. We can
Yeah,
kind of get it in.
because there's no
in a
phased
clean-
growth in housing like that.
Yes.
whereas
So-
The problem
subdivisions, they
is
do, so-
still like water and sewer and, I mean,
Yeah.
that is,
Yep.
if
That's
they're
the
gonna,
biggest
if they're gonna
limitation,
invest
water
in,
and
in.
So I don't know if we're gonna have somebody from, I'm assuming the planning board will be involved in some sort of fashion, as a
Yeah.
member on this committee.
Right.
So,
And on
it's
the-
being sponsored through the planning board and select board from what I
Oh.
read today, and this is the first I've heard of it, so.
What? For
Of
here?
course it is.
For Shelton, so the select board
Yeah,
has
it's the
a
committee.
subcommittee for housing, phased housing, that
And they'll
they're
want.
gathering interest for members, so I'm sure we're gonna be asked to provide
Yeah.
a member to
And that'll be,
Yes,
and that'll be a
and,
big piece of the master
a lot of
plan too.
people don't
of
understand, it's
embedded
not
into the
that
master plan.
we are against it, it's like, you can't get people to build it.
Mm.
They either
Mhm.
don't have access to water and sewer, or it's not worth their effort to build it, you know, that's like, this 35 North Main Street. You know, they have to look at it, like, how many units can I build to make the product financially
And I'm sure that
worth
land
my
there was
while.
really cheap.
Yep, and now they're,
So,
Motion to adjourn?
I have a motion, do I have a second? Motion, second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous, thank you. Thank you, Drew.